right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Ascension here on Forgebreaker. Give me a second here. Gotta fix a few things, it looks like, with my Ascension commands here, but that's okay. Welcome. It's been a long time since we've had this session, about a month, maybe a little bit more. Glad to have you all here. We got an exciting session with Markinor's pretty much not doing so hot today. We will be dealing with the death of a character at the beginning of the session, so that's going to be something for us to think about as we move on. Let's get into our news for the day. Tyranny is tomorrow. Then we are off on Tuesday, coming back on Wednesday with another session. So 3 sessions in a row of Amongst the Giants. That'll wrap up our block of that. And then Fate will be back on Thursday. D&D replay on Friday. And then we're going to be quiet all day Saturday, but coming back on Sunday for Fell Entropy. We normally would have had our regular schedule for Ascension, or not Ascension, Alliance, but with me being out of town going to Gen Con, we will unfortunately not have anybody here for the stream, so we're going to go ahead and just push it off, which is good because I need some extra time to prepare. These guys threw me for a loop after last session, so we'll get back up. Next session for Alliance will be the 18th of August, with our Empire group returning on the 22nd. I think that pretty much covers everything. Kind of looking over notes here, that looks about right. Are you guys ready over here? Maybe.
I am.
Maybe. Okay, cool.
Sure, why not? Maybe.
All right. Whenever you are ready, have it.
Alrighty. Well, we have some summer music playing today as the session starts. But before we get to the reason why, we'll go ahead and start off with what y'all did last session. So last session you started out in the maze, where you had fought this fiendish creature, knowing that there was teleportation circles seemingly all around the room that instantly transported you as you ventured on top of them. Stop tagging me on Discord. There we go. You decided to make your way out of there, looking for an exit or trying to figure out what else was going on down here in the
Cog Whistle, thank you very much for the
Doom
follow.
Vault.
Very much appreciated.
After some careful finagling and some good use of detect magic, you were able to get yourself out of this maze and make your way back into the pitfall gravity room. You easily circumvented that and continued on to the east. As you came into the next room, you found what appeared to be cages of different sort, though they looked somewhat mundane with just straight iron bars going from floor to ceiling. You saw within them were more fiends that were trapped within them, and even though they seemed to be desperately trying to break out of the cage, all of them in a rage, you couldn't hear them at all, and it seemed like they couldn't even reach between the bars. Also in this room, you saw 3 humanoids, and they immediately confronted you as you started to sneak into the room. After a quick discussion, you decided that they didn't need to live anymore and quickly dispatched them from this life. Continued on from there, deciding not to free any of the creatures, figuring they were good where they were. Continued on once again to the east and found yourself at another white gate. You were able to use the glyph key that was attuned with Markinor to progress on through it and move into the next room. As you moved into it, you found a lot of undead were torturing this very large fiendish creature that was shackled to the ground with long spears so that they were away from the creature's grasp. You decided to quickly end this suffering and did so, destroying all of the undead in the room. The creature, as this battle was going on, still trapped within its bonds, told you to free it, and that it would take care of any of the other Thayans within the area, essentially wanting to get back at his capturers. You decided to help him out, Kalen going around and releasing his shackles. Unfortunately, he was still a fiend and immediately betrayed you as his shackles were released. Unfortunately for him, though, he was no match for you all, and you quickly dispatched him. You found another black gate within this room and decided to use it to transport yourselves out of the Doom Vault and back to the gatehouse, where what's her face? Serana asked you what was going on, and you basically said that you were needing to rest for a bit, and she warned you that resting for too long, bodies and such will be found, and the Doom Vault itself may be more alert the next time you went back, and advised against it. So you decided to only take a short rest before moving in. Shalinder, your companion since the first room of the Doom Vault, decided to part ways with you there, feeling that she was quite outmatched with everything that was being thrown at you thus far. So the party continued on, teleporting back into the same room via the Black Gate, and moved on to the north. As you did so, you found a large cross-shaped room. As you looked around it, you saw that there wasn't much to it. You did find a small pitfall trap that you were easily able to steer Markinor away from this time. And looked around and saw 4 different doorways presented before you. You headed off to the east to a somewhat more ornate-looking doorway that you sensed magic radiating off of. Even though some of your instincts did ping that maybe there was something off about this, you decided to venture forward anyway and open the door. As you did so, black smoke enveloped the room. A lot of ill effects followed this black smoke, and only with some quick and agile reactions were you able to escape this trap and shut the doors. After that concluded, you decided to go to the westmost door of this cross chamber. And within it, you found a chamber full of undead creatures, once again, though these were much more powerful than the ones you had encountered thus far. You saw 3 dread warriors who immediately charged forward and attacked you. And then you noticed magic was being channeled throughout the room. And then a lich stepped before you. And you knew this as Taru Var, the lich of this level that you had been warned a few times about. You commenced a battle with him, with the dread warriors pulling at the front line. You noticed that they were pretty much cannon fodder as far as Tower of Var was concerned. He even threw fireballs in their direction, not caring if they hit him or not. He stood in the back and continued flinging spells at everybody, knocking out Aelion first, damaging the rest of you. Markinor proceeded to finish off the last Dread Warrior and move forward, but was unable to get close enough before the room filled up with black tentacles summoned from another plane that began grasping around him. Unfortunately, Markinor was knocked unconscious by these. With 2 of the party out, you continued attacking Tarovar, seeing him beginning to become exhausted and weakened from the battle as it progressed on. Though Aelion was eventually stabilized by Kaelin, unfortunately, Markinor, still surrounded by black tentacles, was unable to be saved, and he perished during this fight. Berwyn and Kaelin, fortunately, though, were able to finish off Taru Var a few moments after Markinor passed to the next plane of existence. As you were looking back to the body, wondering if he could be saved, knowing that, or Berwyn at the very least, knowing that there was a way to bring him back if need be with his own power, Kaelin searched Taru Var's body, which had begun to somewhat disintegrate and such, and you all remembered that he was a lich, and that even though destroying his form here was not the end of him, and that he would eventually and inevitably return back to his life, unless his phylactery was destroyed. But as Kaelin searched his body, she found a somewhat ornate rod residing on his person, and as she looked at it for a few moments and identified it, she recognized it as a rod of protection, or rod of resurrection rather, and knew that this item could be used to bring their friend and comrade Markinor back to life. But with all that being said, you were still within the Doom Vault at this time, weary and hurt. One of your comrades dead, another one unconscious at this moment. What do y'all want to do? Berwin and Kaylin, you are the only ones conscious and awake.
Well, I was under the impression that I was healed, like right at the very end.
Were you?
Yeah. Like, Browen gave me a cure wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have 11 hit points registered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it up here. Okay, yeah. So Aelion is
There's
awake.
3 of us.
I just didn't see that in the replay that I
Yeah.
watched. So yeah, cool. So Aelion is awake. Markinor, unfortunately, is still on the ground, lifeless. You know him to not be among the living at this point. So yeah, what do y'all want to do?
Did we find? I don't remember. Did we find a crystal on Taruvar also?
Yeah.
On his body. Do.
Yeah, I got a new key.
Yeah,
Okay.
you found 2 keys on his body. You recognize one of them as a glyph key, though you're not sure where exactly it's attuned to. And you found another somewhat ornate steel key that is different than the glyph key. There are a few cabinets and such around the room that haven't been searched. They may have something in them or not, but you're not sure up to this point.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see what's back behind the screens because I never did check what was back there just to.
Okay. As you move back behind there, you see separated off to the side of the room seems to be where Tarovar's living quarters were. You see a lavishly decorated bed as well as a cabinet and a desk back here, as well as a chest sitting in it.
Okay. Definitely want to check out the chest, which I'm assuming is here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do that. First, I just want to cast Detect Magic to see if there's any magic emanating from it.
As you do so, you don't see anything directly radiating off of the chest itself, but you do see the hints of what appear to be evocation magic radiating from within it.
Okay. Then I probably want to investigate it for traps also.
Okay, roll me an investigation check. Okay. As you look at this chest, you see that there's not even a lock on the front of it, a latch just laying over where a lock could be inserted into it. However, it seemed like the occupant of this room did not feel it necessary to do so. As you look around the seams and such of this box, you notice no traps, no tripwires, things of that nature. Seems to be safe to open.
All right, I'm gonna open the box.
Okay. As you open this box and look inside of it, you see several items within it, chest rather. Inside of it, you see a potion of some kind. You see another steel key lying beside it that looks pretty much exactly the same as the steel key you pulled off of Vara's body. You see a flat box of black wood and a gold coffer wrought to look like a sleeping dragon with violent garnet eyes that look pretty expensive.
And is the magic I kind of sense from the inside, is that radiating from that box or is it radiating from something else?
The flat box of black wood is radiating that magic.
I'm just gonna take everything.
Okay.
Because we probably need to move on before somebody finds us here.
Definitely agree with that. Staying in one place for too long is a death sentence.
I reach over to Aelion and give him some 14 HP.
Nah, that feels nice.
Feels real good. Do it again.
Please don't die on me.
Touch him again.
I think I may be able to. I think I may have a way. I don't know about the scepter, the rod, resurrection staff, or whatever it is yet. Correct.
I thought I gave it to you. Maybe I didn't give it to you at the end of the last session.
I think you discovered it, and then we.
Yeah, I've got
So-
a handout and everything for it. It does require attunement, so you can't use it right now. You
Right.
Yeah.
need an hour to do so. But I've got a handout and everything for it, so I can just send it to whoever.
Yeah, send it to Berwin because I would give it to him because I can't use it anyway.
Okay.
From what I remember.
Yeah, it requires attunement by a
Cleric or druid.
yeah, or a paladin. All right, so you've searched the
Oh,
room. It seems to be
This makes this a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
Let's get out of here then.
Yeah, you see a few more. You see a desk in the main room that hasn't been searched, as well as a a couch-looking thing with a table and such. You don't really see too much more aside from that desk that could be searched if you so choose, or you can just get the hell out.
I think just I would quickly do a tertiary search of that desk just to see if there was anything like caught my eye.
As you look inside the desk, you see several pieces of parchment with writing on them. You see several drafts of a letter with words crossed out, and you see another draft with the same lettering on it with some wording changed and such. All of them addressed to Zaz Tam, in which you see Var begs for another chance to bring the Sword Coast under the Thayan domination. You see another piece, a couple pieces of parchment. The first one seeming to have some details about the Doom Vault itself, the second one as well. The first piece of parchment says Zaz Tam's latest plan to become a god is his most ambitious. He intends to feed the souls of the chosen into his phylactery through the temples of extraction. On the second, you see a note scribbled upon it saying Zaz Tam is making sure his plan will work by channeling the souls of the chosen into the phylacteries of his underlings, which are stored in the phylactery vaults beneath the Doom Vault. And you see a very hastily written note that you almost missed, and it seems like if you focus your eyes too much on it, it seems to have either some kind of enchantment or such on it that makes it hard to see, but you're able to spend a moment looking at it, and you see a scribbled note on the bottom of this page saying, "Disrupt the flow of soul energy will deal a blow to Tam's power."
Okay, that's all important. I would take all that so we can push that, put that information to the God, I forgot the guy's name.
Which guy?
Cylindra?
What's her name? Shalindra?
Oh, Sarana?
Toronto, that's what it is.
Yeah, Shalindra was the
Yeah,
sun elf y'all were with.
it's been 4 weeks. What do you want from me?
Who definitely made the right choice of not coming back with us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just gonna say that.
yeah. All right. I think at this point we need to get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
wasn't there a one of those portals back in this room?
Yeah, back where you slayed all the undead, there's a black gate there.
Yeah,
Shall we head back there?
yeah. We should get going.
Okay.
I may need some help.
Yeah, I'll help carry Markinor.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
I was just gonna levitate him.
Oh, well.
That
works as well.
makes everything easier.
I don't think he weighs 500 pounds.
Then I just
Well.
kind of drag him along like a dying balloon.
Pretty much.
You know.
Just think it's easier than carrying him. We can control.
Yes.
All right. So as Kaylin casts this levitate spell to lift the somewhat literal dead weight that is Markinor now into the air, you begin leading him back through the passages, avoiding the pitfall trap in the next room, and moving on back into the room to the south where you remember the black gate to be. Berwyn pulls the glyph key off of Markinor's body, knowing that he used this to allow you to teleport to different places. And as he holds it, he immediately recognizes the knowledge as he approaches the black gate, as it begins to swirl and such before him, that he will be able to transport out of the Doom Vault this way to the gatehouse. And with that, you all step through and are teleported out. Once again,
Yay.
you arrive into a very dimly lit chamber where you see other teleportation circles, much like the one you just arrived in, all around you, but no other doors or exits from this room. As you all walk into it, leading Markinor's body and then laying it down on the stone floor, the image of Serana appears before you. She's, well, you are back so soon. What happened?
Oh. Yeah.
We ran into Talasvar, and it didn't go so well.
Oh, I didn't expect any of you to return if you ran into Tarovar. What do you mean it didn't go so well?
Well, we ended up killing him for now, but we lost one of our party members in the process.
With
But
that,
we
you
may
see,
have a way to bring him back.
as you say that, you see the floating kind of face of Serana before you, her eyes searching. She says, I do not. You're right. I do not sense Markinor. What do you mean a way to bring him back? I don't understand.
Well, on our good friend Talarvar, I found a rod of resurrection that might be able to bring him back, and also found some plans and letters that may be important, full of information that we might want to pass on before we move forward.
With that, you see her eyes kind of narrowing for a second, and as she's thinking, and she nods, says, I'm very sorry about your friend. I hope that your plan works for him. What did you find in information-wise about him?
I'd probably just read the letters that I took.
Okay. As you read those off, the different plans and such, and it seemed like what you got from those, especially those last two pieces of parchment, that Tarovar obviously was included, as you were told before, in the attack on the Sword Coast before, when they tried to open portals there for Thayan armies to proceed through, and that he was defeated in that force as well. it seemed very much that he had been reprimanded by Zaz Tam, his leader, for that failure, and may have been a little sore about that because it seemed like he might have been inevitably plotting to go against Tam if he ever saw an opportunity to do so, based on that scribbled note, which ultimately gave you a little more information that was probably not what he intended to give out, hoping that it would be something that he would know. But as you give all this information to Serana, she listens intently to it all and nods. Says, "Very well, that's very good information to know. I will check and see if anyone else has anything that may help with this, but I think you all do deserve a rest, and hopefully nothing." She kind of thinks for a moment. She says, "Well, Taruvar being slain within the Doom Vault is certainly to cause a stir. At the very least, the abyssal prisons will be in chaos for a short while. I think you will have time to rest for now."
Good. I think we need it.
And with that, she nods. She says, "Very well. I will go back about my research, and you just let me know." And she kind of, you see her head kind of looking over to a corner where you see another sending glyph where you're able to speak with her. She says, "Just let me know if you need any assistance from me." And with that, her image winks out of existence. So,
So we're still in the transfer room, right?
yeah, you're in the gatehouse.
Okay.
But this is a safe room.
Yeah, you know that Serana was essentially the overseer of the gatehouse for the Thayans, since she is a Thayan herself, but one that is sympathetic to your cause, not wanting Zastam to have any more power within Thay, and has recruited you essentially to help weaken him, if nothing else. So you kind of feel that this place, especially with everything that's happened so far, is very well contained, since she seems to be the controller of it thus far.
She wants to rule the world instead.
Maybe. I don't know.
So
I'd
I guess
like to take some time. I'm gonna need 2 hours change attunement item
Mm-hmm.
and 4 hours for a long rest. So we'll go with the attunement items first. I'm going to deattune to the lightning wand
Okay.
and attune to the rod of resurrection.
All right. Are y'all just gonna take a long rest during this? You gonna take some short rests? What's the plan here?
I think we need
Right.
to take a little rest.
Yeah.
Okay,
But we should probably try and bring Markinor back first.
Yeah.
might be a good idea.
That was my plan.
For additional safety, I don't know. I don't trust this room for some odd reason. I want to cast Tiny Head over the party.
Okay.
Just because it's a dark room. So just in case something weird happened and somebody showed up, would at least be kind of semi-hidden.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. You can do
I always do appreciate a over my head.
that.
A little
So as
hut.
you get, so as you all take some time to rest, and Berwin goes to work of learning the intricacies of this new magic item. Kaylin puts a roof over your head in this dark room, giving it a little more comfort as you all kind of think about the events that have happened this far since you entered the Doom Vault. Several somewhat hard battles, and then the hardest one you've seen up to this point against the Lich Tarovar, and knowing that you may see him again. But that being said, over the first hour, Berwin, the long long-standing lightning wand that he's had for quite a while now. He goes ahead and unattunes with it, and then reattunes back into a new item, this Rod of Resurrection. You know that you can now use this item to not only heal mortal wounds, but also bring people back from the dead. But you know that there's always a chance that you could possibly destroy the wand or the rod in the process. But the long rest goes by without any hiccups, and you're all able to get the benefit of it. You all also feel like your experiences thus far, and especially with that hard-fought battle that you just exited, that you've learned a lot and gained much-needed experience for what is to come. And you all hit level 10.
If it matters, I was going to not long rest quite yet.
Okay.
I was going to use that rod for.
So we have 8 hours in the tiny hut, so there's
Yes.
should be enough time to cast that spell and still take the long rest after that.
True. I am going from the Rod of Resurrection. I'm going to use 5 charges and cast Resurrection on Markinor's body.
All right. Just for clarity's sake, what Kaylin and Aelion, what are y'all doing during the 2 hours that he's doing it? Are y'all going through a long rest, or are you just resting until then? Since he wants to do it after 2 hours instead of waiting 8.
I imagine before the long rest, I'll just be mapping out, drawing out everything we've gone through.
Okay. Kaylin?
I need to look at something real quick.
Y'all can essentially get the benefits, except for, well, no, all of you can get the benefits of a short rest during this time, if nothing else. So you can roll a hit die or whatever for that if you so choose. But I
And
imagine y'all are probably going to long rest anyway.
Resurrection takes an hour to cast.
Mm-hmm.
There's also that.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, we have 8 hours in the tiny hut.
Okay.
And you're spending 2 to...
2 to
Oh,
change
okay.
items and 1 to cast Resurrection for a total of 3 hours.
Yeah. While he's doing that, I'd probably be casting Identify, the flatwood box that I picked up, to see if I can figure out.
Okay. All right. So as the second hour passes, Berwyn gets to work, knowing that it's going to take some time for this resurrection spell to go through. Begins doing the arcane incantations needed to cast the spell and bring Markinor back to the living. I'll just ask, Markinor, are you willing to come back to the living?
No, I hate these guys. Yes, I am.
I hate you too, man.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as this resurrection spell begins going, the other two of you, Berwyn pretty much having to focus on this for about an hour or so. Aelion begins mapping through the dungeon thus far that is the Doom Vault, or at the very least the Abyssal Prisons section of this Doom Vault. Getting a good idea of where you've been to this point and what you've run into, knowing it all falls kind of a theme for the most part of imprisoning or testing these fiends, trying to find the most powerful of them to use for their own plans. Kaylin, as you search through these items, identifying them. You see that the Blackwood box, while it does radiate magic, the box itself isn't actually magical as you identify it. So you surmise that something within it is what's causing the magic that you're able to sense with detect magic. You identify the coffer as well as not being magical, though very ornate. You know that the the violent garnet eyes that rests within this sleeping dragon that's depicted upon it are worth a good chunk of money, at least 1,000 gold pieces apiece. You decided to go ahead and check within it, knowing it's not trapped and such, and you find 200 platinum pieces and a dark, smooth river rock lying inside this coffer. And as you look at the river rock, you recognize this as a magical item. And as you identify it, you see that it is actually a cursed magical item, a lodestone. So, you know all that. Do you want to open the black box?
No,
No? Okay.
not until we're done with our long rest.
Okay.
Markinor's back. I don't want to freaking.
Alrighty. So, as this third hour continues on, you occasionally look over and see Berwyn holding this rod over Markinor's corpse, chanting very softly as he does so, channeling the magic through this rod, knowing that it's much more powerful than anything he's really encountered or being able to cast up to this point, but the rod being a focus for it, allowing him to cast something at a higher level than he's used to. But an hour passes, and he feels a psychic connection with Markinor, and though they can't speak to each other, he does feel that his soul is willing to return back to his body, although you do feel a bit of hesitation coming from him as he does so. But after this, the hour begins to conclude and the incantations are finished. Glowing kind of goldish light infuses and begins to radiate from Markinor's body. And after a few moments of this, you see his chest begin to rise and fall. And a few more moments pass, and his eyes slowly begin to open as Markinor is resurrected from the dead. Markinor, as you come back in to the material plane, back into your own body, you have the hazy feeling of what you can only call a dream is what it felt like. Knowing that you had died, being completely and unequivocally recognizing the fact that you had been slain in combat, and as you had died, you had felt a sense of regret, knowing that the order that you follow, worshiping Tyr, is mainly driven by wanting to punish evildoers, and the fact that you were unable to cause or at least witness the destruction of this lich filled you with a bit of regret as you passed on to the next life. As you were in there, as you're beginning to sit back up in this dark room, inside this hut that's surrounding you, looking around and seeing your friends within the room once again, with Berwyn standing over you with this ornate rod, you get brief glimpses of something that seemed to happen while you were floating through the ether into your next life. You briefly recall a conversation. As you think about it, the conversation seems to slip through your mind and then come back in waves. You remember speaking to an old man, his hair white but still long in his age, down far past his shoulders. You remember his face looking somewhat odd, because as you looked into his eyes, you didn't see him. You saw just blackness there. And though it kind of alerted you at first, you were filled with comfort as you looked toward this man. And then you saw and you remember seeing above his head floated what appeared to be a semi-translucent halo. As you looked further down this man, you saw that he had a brilliantly carved or brilliantly made longsword resting at his hilt that looks very similar to the one that you summon whenever you call on the power of Tyr. As you look down to his right hand, seeing that the sword was resting on his right side instead of the left, you see that his right hand is gone. And there was only a nub covered in a gold kind of rounded off fashion, and that he was missing one. You remember a brief conversation, only bits and pieces of it. But, you talked of your regret not being able to slay the evil that was before you. You had never failed really up until this point, but So you had never really felt this failure before, and that you wanted to make it right, and were deeply saddened by the fact that you were unable to do so, having perished in that fight. And though the old man comforted you and said that you had done more than enough, the sense of regret really held you onto the material plane. And as you began talking with him more, you felt welcomed, and that even though you had been slayed, maybe it wasn't all that bad. Maybe you had done enough in the life that you were given, had served your God worthily, and that you were going to be welcomed in the eyes and in the arms of someone who you had worshipped up to this point, and you knew the man before you was Tyr, and that he had given you blessing to pass on, and that your work was done. But then you saw the chance to be brought back as your friends, as you saw them kind of from overhead were attempting to bring you back, and you were called back to the material plane. And though it seemed that Tyr was somewhat saddened by one of his faithful subjects not wanting to end their work and join him, he was proud of you and gracious in the fact that you were going to head back to continue his work. And as this memory begins to fade even more now, you look around the room and see that you have been brought back to life.
Kind of taking all of that dream state in and looking around the room and seeing Berwin kind of standing over me with this rod. Kind of just reach out and just kind of place my hand on his arm and don't really say anything. I just kind of nod in his direction like a bit of a thank you. Not really gathering my words at the moment, just trying to take everything in and, kind of regain some composure here. And a bit of life force, not really having much within me at the moment.
Yeah, you definitely feel pretty weak, though you do look down at your body and see that the wounds that you had suffered during that battle have healed over. You do feel very weakened by that, and know that you'll suffer for that, unfortunately, at least for a time, until all of your former strength returns to you. So, what do you want to do now? Just continue on with the long rest, or?
I'd like to take Arkanor's hand and that he placed on my arm, put my other hand on it, and nod and just kind of sit down and just kind of lay over and go to sleep.
All right. So, I'm assuming you're all going through a long rest at this point, so it'll take you a little bit of time. 5 hours from now, Aelion and Kaelin, you will complete your long rest, minimal effort and such. You both being elves, I believe, Drow and an elf, right?
Yeah.
Or Eladrin, yeah.
All
So,
elves.
yeah. Well, you're all elves
Hey,
of
elf.
some form. Some are half elf, or Markinor's a half elf, so he doesn't get trance. But everybody else does. So you're able to spend 4 hours of that just kind of in a meditative state, and you're able to get the full benefits of your long rest. Markinor himself will need to take full 8 hours to do so. Berwin will be able to start his long rest at this point, sleeping in a trance for 4 hours or so, and getting the full benefit of it at that point. But the hours pass by very uneventfully. Not much happening. You do all feel very as safe as you're going to be in this area within the gatehouse, knowing it's far safer than being in the Doom Vault itself. But with your friend back, you're all kind of filled with a seed of confidence, knowing that while you do have this new legendary item, which I need Berwin to roll a d20 on, please.
Hey, we're good.
All right, so Berwin does know that all of the charges within it have been expended for the day, and until the next one comes, he will not be able to use it again. So he stores it away, knowing that's essentially useless for the time being. But it was worth it. Even if it had been destroyed in the process, it was worth bringing Markinor back. So with that, 8 hours pass. Most of you rested far before that, but giving time for Markinor to recover from death, essentially. You're able to complete a long rest. Markinor, you will still have a -3 to attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Okay.
So I think you can set that like in a global mod or
Yeah.
something.
And I
Okay,
can
so
still
your rest
level
is
up,
gone.
yes?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, if you haven't rolled a hit die for me, go ahead and do so.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
So even though Markinor
Wow.
was vanquished in that, he does feel more experienced after that. Probably the most getting the most experience out of that from all of you, since none of you actually died. So he has experienced more than you at this point, and experienced even meeting his
I
god
don't
in
want that experience.
flesh.
Mhm.
Probably wouldn't recommend it to anybody, though.
Yeah,
Markinor
I
may
don't.
disagree.
I don't recommend it. Probably not a good thing.
Yeah, so if y'all need to finish anything for your level 10, go ahead and do so now, and then we'll see where y'all want to go now.
I'm looking for the global
Hey.
modifier.
Does anybody want a
should be
lightning
in your-
wand?
Should be in your
Uh,
settings cog on your player sheet.
It's pretty
It's
good.
also under saving throws. There's a
Yeah, I
a
see like
box you
the
can just
global
add.
save. Yeah, I'll just add them for everything here. So it's
Yeah.
save, attack, and damage.
No, attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks.
Oh, okay.
So damage won't be reduced, but your ability to attack, or to
Oh.
hit rather, will be.
You
Oh,
have,
she's brought it back to life. It's
have
rough.
it.
Mhm.
Do you have access to elemental tokens? Do I need to give? Oh.
I can probably get some if necessary.
I don't know whether you want to do that, or I can give you one thing the tokens.
Since we're in session, I'm not going to do it right now.
No, that's fine. That's
So,
fine.
Yeah, just keep sheets open and everything for yourself, and just roll
Yep.
manually for that if it comes up.
Holy
And then in
cow.
between now and next session, I'll
That is huge.
get those created for you.
I just remembered that.
Okay. While you all get that set up, actually, because Chris just said he would do laundry, and I need to throw my laundry in, so I forgot to do that. So, quick, like 2-minute break, and then we'll resume.
Sounds good.
Fair enough.
Alright, I'm going to finish all of my level up stuff and... Yeah. Holy cow. It's rough, man. Rough dying in combat. Yeah, so we're gonna take a couple-minute break here as we regroup and prepare for what's ahead. And I make all of my changes to everything because, yeah. It's still showing me as dead though in Beyond, so let me try to fix that. There we go. Fixed it now. HP. Alright, and then long rest, and I should be good. Let's modify that. Let's go. All right, so I think we're all set. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Wow.
Okay, I'm back.
Hooray.
Yeah.
I'm also back.
And I think I'm all set now. Let me check. Spells here. Yeah. 3, 2, 3, 3, 4. So yeah. Cool. I am all set.
Just wait for everybody to chime in and we'll get started again.
I'm all set. -3. But that didn't do what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Or is it not going to give me that? Look it up and see. That's not it. I'm not seeing it. I'm not showing anything that will mark that. Just waiting on the last couple to get back before we continue with our session here. Yeah. Gonna be interesting to see what happens next. I might not hit anything now. Whew.
Fourth and Max, y'all back yet?
Yep.
Alright, just waiting on Max.
Yeah, it's not doing it properly, but that's fine.
We can look at it and see what it's supposed to roll. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a team butter or anything.
Yeah.
Unless you die again, then that'll be a different thing.
Yeah, that'll be a different
As
temporary
long as you
thing.
don't die within 5 days. Otherwise, you're coming back as like a dragon or something strange.
I'm back.
All right. Sounds like everybody's back. So, you've completed the long rest, able to get your wits about you, get all healed up, feel more powerful, ready to take on the world. What do y'all want to do?
Go back home.
Guys, what do you want to do?
First, I want to give my Fiendish Resilience, which is the new thing I earned. I want resistance to fire damage
Oh, okay.
until I finish another long or short rest, and I can change it.
Okay. All right. So you will have resistant to fire. I imagine you all catch Markinor up after he is resurrected and rested and such. So you have all the previous knowledge of, you know, the notes that were found within Talovar's room and all that fun stuff.
Okay. And I kind of envision Markinor's just not saying a whole lot right now. He's just very quiet and, you know, not really sure what to say at this point.
Leon's gonna be attuned to Winter. Very much affected by the death of his friend. Even though that's been reversed.
Still a bit of a traumatic experience for everyone involved.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Cool. All right.
So it looks like we need to try and go deeper under the Doom Vault to kill these phylacteries.
Kind of sounds like it. Don't know how to get there though.
We do have 2 new keys to try out.
Yes.
What were the colors of the new keys? I don't remember what they were.
One's a glyph key, one's invisible.
Technically, we have 2 steel keys that look exactly the same, and then a glyph key.
Yes.
Forgot. I picked 2 keys. Also, do we want to open this box now that we're all back and fully not close to dying? See what's in there.
I remember hearing a story about somebody named Pandora. I don't know what that has. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and open the box?
Alright, well, let's open the box then.
Okay. Casting detect magic or anything? You just open it and see what's inside.
Well, I know it's evocation magic, but I mean, I can't find out what's inside until I open it, apparently.
I'd like to cast Divine Sense as he's doing that.
Okay.
And see what I pick up, if I pick up like desecration or anything on the box.
Doo-doo. Mm-hmm. Go ahead and give me the text for Divine Sense. Okay. As Kaelin opens this box and Markinor, you know, puts all of his divine senses towards it as well, trying to figure out what's going on with it. You open the box, you see what appears to just be a bunch of parchment within it. You know that before, something within this box was radiating that magic, though you can't obviously tell at this point what it was. But all of these parchments are kind of rolled up and tied off so that they don't, you know, unfurl themselves within it.
Tariot took a long rest. They had to unattune
Okay, I suppose I'd like to
and
cast Detect Magic
then
again and
attune
see
to
if all
the rod,
parchments that are radiating
and
magic or just
we were able to escape. Yeah, fortunately we had a druid in the
something
party.
more.
As you're looking down at it with Detect Magic now activated, You see that the parchments are kind of resting in a makeshift kind of pyramid going down, or a triangle, I guess. You see the topmost one seems to be radiating that evocation magic that you sensed before.
Okay. I want to see if I can identify the parchment. Figure out what spell it is that is radiating.
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay. This is gonna suck.
Oh,
It's gonna suck.
You definitely can tell that there's magic that is active somewhere within this bundle, but without opening it and such, you're unable to tell exactly what it is. But you do know that there seems to be a warding of some kind on this parchment.
well,
Okay.
Terry, there was a possibility that once we used the rod, that it would basically deactivate itself and would no longer be usable.
I don't know if I should try and do anything.
So
Seems to
that
be warded
was
against
something
but I
that
don't
we
know
had to
what.
think about or had to consider. Obviously, they wanted to make sure I came back. So they used the rod, not caring of the chance that it would be deactivated.
Do we just want to stick it back in the bag? And
But yes, they did get me back. I'm still reeling a
So
bit
maybe
from
give it
all
some
of
time.
the experience
Probably the
itself.
best
Look
choice,
at it when-
honestly.
Maybe
But
look
yeah,
at
I'm
it
back.
some other time.
So that's
Yeah.
something.
Maybe we're not dealing with what we're doing now. Hopefully, it won't be something important. Yeah, so I closed the box and
Okay. Just putting it away for now.
yeah.
Okay.
Kind of pulling and tugging at the armor, just trying to get just to feel somewhat normal again. Kind of look up at everybody and just kind of quietly, without looking them in the eye, just like up in their direction, just kind of quietly say, are we ready to begin again?
I'll stick out my hand, offer to help him up. I think it is time we have to go back in.
Kind of grab onto his hand and kind of prop myself up, getting my bearings a little bit, and say, very well, then there's no time to waste, I suppose.
Fortunately, time is not really something we have.
And,
Yeah, I think it's time to move on.
and to kind of start things off, still feeling a bit shaky, I'm gonna kind of follow behind, just trying to stick to the back a little bit and kind of get the feel for everything. Everything feels a little weird and out of place still, so I'm just gonna kind of hang to the back of the group as they start venturing forward.
Okay. All planning to go through the gate again. Go back into the Doom Vault.
Same one we went through?
Okay.
Question mark.
Question mark?
As you move forward, we'll say you gave back the original key back to Markinor, the glyph key. As you move forward to it, you feel the same attunements that you felt before to places within the abyssal prisons. seeing those same kind of images flicker through your mind of the different areas you can go to, with one or two of them being unfamiliar, but every other one being something that you've been to before. Say Berwyn has the other one. As you move forward, you recognize that you're getting the same sense of a location that you're able to teleport to, but you get the distinct impression, as well as the words flowing through your mind, of it being a different place, not the abyssal prisons that Markinor had spoke of before, but this being the temples of extraction that this glyph key is attuned to.
But I don't
That's
see any
Sorry.
place to teleport to.
No, you do. You have a brief, kind of envisioning of a smaller room in front of you, as well as what appears to be some kind of altar. But like I said, all these images are very brief. It's almost like a quick picture in your mind of where you're going.
Okay.
Enough that if somebody recognized a place, had been there several times, they'd know exactly where it was. But being unfamiliar with it, it's hard to tell exactly what you just saw. But you do know there's a destination you can transport to.
That's the key that we got from the Lich, right?
Yes, from Tower of Ar.
Okay. Well, guys. The key to the temples of extraction. I do see one spot that we could go if we just want to go there and go in hot, basically.
Well, based on what we know, that's probably where we should start to try and interrupt what Zastam is doing.
Yeah.
Especially since we don't know how close these two areas are together.
Yeah.
Yeah, the place we were at is probably going to be busy.
So, which one do y'all want to do?
The temple of extraction.
Okay.
And away we go. Let's do it.
Alrighty, so as you move forward back onto the gate, once again going through, knowing kind of what to expect at this point, but knowing that you are going to a new area, somewhere you have not been before, you all get ready to teleport. Got my notes around real quick.
Ooh, teleportation.
All right. So, as you all step forward onto this teleportation plate in front of you, all page settings are good. Dope. A familiar white light begins to surround you and suffuse your eyes, blinding you for just a moment, and then you feel yourself being moved, albeit briefly, before you find yourself standing in another room.
Oh, where did we go?
As you look around this room, you see the air in this white marble chamber hangs heavy with a dark mist that burns your eyes. To the north is a black gate that you're now residing upon. As you look down to the south, you see... You see three figures, I think. You see two figures before you. You see what appears to be a large piece of armor, or large suit of armor, patrolling, as well as what appears to be another Thayan standing, and they both turn in your direction as you teleport into this room. Uh-oh. Alion's having audio issues.
Oh no. Come back, Alien.
I teleport back. Sorry.
Just kidding.
Sorry, wrong door. We're kind of lost. We'll be back.
That's just like, hi. Where's the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom?
Donde está el baño?
Can you all hear me still?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you hear us?
I'm thinking not.
Oh man.
Figured it out. Sorry.
Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, so once again, as you enter this room, once again, you see this white marble chamber. There's a heavy mist, dark mist that's lingering in the air all around you. It begins to burn your eyes as you enter this room. You see yourself standing upon another black gate. To your south, you see two figures that are turned towards you, looking at you. Okay. You see what appears to be a three-step stone dais is set with 4 pillars, all carved of black jet. Glowing arcane runes surround the top edge of this shrine. Just around the pillar, just south of you, the first one you can see, you see between the pillars an unconscious humanoid is suspended in a rolling field of golden light. That being said, both the figures look up towards you and seem to hesitate a moment before they both begin to approach you. I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Awesome.
I was just about to ask, are they approaching
Are
in a
they
threatening manner?
angry?
Definitely.
Holy crap, those initiative numbers.
Maybe.
All right, well, this is going to be a battle. Not going to last very long.
Oh, I didn't select myself.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That's fine. I can fix it. Not that big a deal. All right, so who I need to fix? Kaylin at... Oh, shit. Can't do that. There we go. Add turn and Markinor. Add turn. It's been a little while. I'll forgive y'all this time. Kaylin had a 23.
I fixed
Game.
mine.
Cool. All right. My bad guys are going to roll now. It's about par for the course. Okay. Whispering. Let's not do that. Can't have y'all not seeing stuff because this turned out so well last time when I couldn't flip rolls. Okay. So, go ahead and get the appropriate music going. If Music Bot can remember how to work.
Hello.
Hello, Music Bot, please. Thank you.
Oh, there it is.
All right. So, as you see these two figures begin moving towards you, you can definitely tell that they were not expecting you and are acting hostilely towards you. Aelion, you're the first to react.
Let's see. I'm gonna just pull out my bow and shoot at the guy closest.
Okay. Shooting with the suit of armor.
Okay, that's quick 3 shots.
They all hit.
Gosh.
Jesus.
28.
Okay. Definitely not a favorite enemy.
Then I'm gonna just kind of move up a little bit and pull out my swords, and that's
Okay.
it.
All right. So it's Aelion immediately reacting to the threat in front of him. Lets off these 3 arrows. They soar directly into the chest of this large suit of armor. Something you kind of recognize from previous battles. And as these arrows impact against the armor, you see that they don't actually penetrate into it, but instead dent into the armor as it seems to kind of resist against it. That being said, you do see several dents appear in the armor, obviously doing some damage to it. Kaylin.
Oh, I forgot a D8 because of Gloomstalker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
1 point's 1 point.
Right?
I'm gonna seeing both these guys. I don't really care about the suit of armor, but whatever that guy is, it's gonna.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Those are gonna hit. Jesus, and max. Oh, wait, not quite max damage.
No, not even close.
Yeah, 30 damage still is beefy. All right, from a fucking cantrip. Okay.
Not broken at all.
No, it's fine.
And
Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, should go stay standing there.
I guess I'll move. I'm just gonna move a little to the east.
Oh shit, I forgot something. Oopsies. One moment,
No.
please. Okay.
Did you unhide rolls?
Yeah, unhide them.
Okay.
But I forgot to do something. I need con saving throws from Aelion and Kaylin. We may have to retcon some turns. Not for Aelion. All right, no, we don't have to. Cool. All right, so as you both begin to move forward, you notice this mist suffusing the entire room around you is burning your eyes and just causing you to completely be discomforted by it. That being said, you're able to focus through it and attack the targets, but you know that this mist surrounding the area is obviously intended to hamper intruders and will continue to do so while you remain in this room. That being said, Berwyn, I need a con save as well before you do your turn.
Okay.
Berwyn, as you begin to move forward, preparing to attack, the mist once again begins to infuse your eyes and filter into your lungs, and you feel yourself just start coughing. You are stunned until your next turn.
Cool.
And you can't do anything.
Yeah.
However, Aelion and Kaylin, you feel like you can fight off the mist for quite a while now, and you will not have to do a con save going forward. Berwyn will still have to, though. Markinor, con save.
Okay. Let's try this. 10?
Unfortunately, the mist once again, just like Berwyn, suffused into your lungs and your eyes, and you've been coughing and wiping tears away, unable to do anything while you try to recover from it, and you were also stunned until your next turn.
Ooh, miss, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
This guy is gonna, after taking a huge hit from Kaylin, is not amused by it at all. What's he gonna do? Freaking casters, man, so many options. He's just not amused by y'all shenanigans at all.
Don't know, Terry. Guessing it's probably... Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably 12 or maybe a 13. Would be my guess. Maybe a 14. It's very possible at this point it could be a 14.
But, okay, can't do the big spell.
We are level 10, so...
He targets... Actually, he's going to move closer, I think. Yeah, so he is going to move forward. So right here, looking towards Kaylin, who just assaulted him. Actually, he can't. Looks towards Aelion, this is the only one he can attack. And casts Blight. I need a con saving throw from you.
I love Blight. Blight is a fantastic...
What did he cast?
Blight.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Just didn't hear it right. So.
Oof. So unfortunately, you were unable to save against this ability or the spell, and this necrotic energy begins to suffuse over your skin. You see some of your skin beginning to turn black, your veins turning black as well as it develops over your skin. You take 35 necrotic damage.
I understand the whole death
That's his
thing
turn.
for obvious
The Helmed
reasons.
Horror is going to move forward. You see the Helmed Horror actually begin to levitate and charges forward.
You won't.
He's going to double move, moving towards the nearest target. And that is his turn. Aelion.
Use this fate spell.
Holy crap, he just took 35.
Shrink.
Oh, I failed
That's
all
my
of my
bonus
dex
action?
saves. Every
Okay.
one of them. Didn't matter.
Then we're
If
gonna
it was
do
dex, I was gonna fail them
right there,
horribly. And thus I was dead.
so that guy won't get an opportunity attack.
Okay.
Then swing with my rapier.
Do it.
Oof.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
All right, first attack will hit.
All right. For those playing
Takes the
along at home,
advantage.
let's
on the second one.
cover the
Oh,
rules
yeah, I can give
for
myself
crit fail.
advantage on one of them.
Crit
Yeah, I'll do
fail
that on
and
the
crit
second
success, we have special
All right,
rules
go ahead and
here.
roll.
Crit fail, we roll on a fumble table.
Okay,
You
yeah,
roll a
23 will hit as well.
D100.
And then that
You see
attack
what's
deals
gonna
to
happen.
7.
Turn this down just a
You
little
will
bit.
get-
This
you have
Um,
you have humanoids as your favorite.
For crit success, we do max damage.
Okay, yeah,
So
so
if
you
you
would
are
damage on
1d12 for your attack roll,
21
you would
plus
do
8 is
1d12
9.
plus whatever your bonus plus 12. You would get the max damage on that.
20
Unfortunately,
Mhm.
this
And then for 1 minute,
crit
my
fail
movement doesn't
gives
count.
him an opportunity to possibly drop a weapon or something along that lines. Just sometimes it just adds flavor, other times it can heavily impact a fight.
Back another
So let's jump back in here and
Okay,
see what
so
we
as
got.
Aelion briefly chants, for a moment you see this kind of wind bursting out around him. Doesn't seem to affect the mist, surprisingly. But as he does so, he takes off just in a blinding movement, heading straight for this caster that hit him with a blight attack. Hitting him twice with his rapier with just super quick and precise hits, dealing a monstrous amount of damage. You see him coughing up blood, looking like he is barely standing. However, he still is, as Aelion then quickly does a double step back and just 2 quick bounds, moving away. Kaylin?
Yes,
Yeah, well,
that,
if we're looking
I
right
love
now,
the
I'm
rule.
just gonna
We run it on almost all of our games here because
Throw
it's
up
such a
the
great
lore.
rule for us.
Uh-huh. They both hit.
And it applies to NPCs
There's
as well.
max damage.
So
There
that makes it very
Yeah.
dangerous for everybody.
So as these 2 more shots going down, the party definitely looking at the caster and taking him out first are able to easily hit him in the chest, and you see holes left behind from the massive hits, and he falls to the ground, unmoving. Anything else?
Mm. I'm gonna move down here.
All right. So as Kaelin dispatches the caster, charges forward up next to Aelion, turning around back towards this suit of armor. Berwin, con save.
Oh boy.
See if y'all get to participate. Unfortunately, the mist is still overpowering
Nope.
you, and you're unable to
So it's
do
not a
anything on this
12.
turn.
Makes me think it's 14.
Arcanor, con save. Another 10.
Same thing I got last time.
unfortunately. Just not enough. This mist is really getting to you two, unfortunately. Making it where you're just unable to move around or do things you want to as you just struggle against it. This guy's dead. This guy's going to turn around and be like, hey, you killed my friend, and run towards Aelion. He's going to get to actually attack now, so he is going to bring his longsword around one-handed as he's still holding a shield. 25 and 23.
Both hit.
All right, so he hits you twice for a total of 18 slashing damage as this
Yeah,
longsword
I'm
digs
pretty
into
sure
your
it's
flesh.
a 14.
Doing a considerable amount of damage to you. Starting to get a little beat up. Alien, able to retaliate now.
And I will do so. Swing first with the rapier. Well,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
both of them.
Second one does not hit.
Okay. So 15, and then for my bonus action, I'll also swing with Shatter Spike.
16 also does not hit.
Okay. I'll check the con save. Okay, well, Zephyr Strike falls. Just gonna back up, still within his range.
Okay. All right, so anything else?
No, that's it.
So yeah, as you bring the rapier around, you hit a solid hit into him, actually getting a little bit of penetration through this heavy enchanted armor, dealing a good amount of damage to him compared to what your arrows did previously. Still very much coming after you, though. Kaylin.
Alright, seeing that he's taken some damage, I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead. DC 18 Wisdom save.
Okay.
That beefy 12 damage.
Yep,
Yeah.
he fails.
So 12 necrotic.
Mhm.
Okay. So even though you feel him obviously failing the
It's not going to do anything to him, though.
resistance against the spell, you feel that the necrotic damage does absolutely nothing to it.
Mm-hmm. That was what I was afraid of.
Alright, well, in that case, I'm gonna. Out down to here.
Okay. Caitlin makes a tactical retreat away from the big dude with a sword, seeing that her necrotic energy is just unable to do anything to this construct.
Mm-hmm.
Berwin first, I guess. Con save.
Yay. Yep. Definitely not.
Berwin begins to dry heave from the effects of the mist, gagging and releasing some ichor
Fine.
onto the floor.
Everything's fine.
This is fine.
Markinor.
See if I can roll another 13.
No, almost.
12.
12,
Still failed.
unfortunately. Still coughing. You feel like you were starting to get over it there for just a moment, but unfortunately, in your kind of weakened state,
Yes.
you feel that you just can't overcome this quite yet, and you're still stunned.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this guy definitely seeing that
Let's
two people are out of
decide.
the battle is going to continue his attack on Aelion, swinging twice once again. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, neither hit.
All right, so as he swings both times, the first one going wide, you see it swing again the second time, and the sword actually misses you so far, it hits into the ground, ringing off as it impacts the stone beneath your feet. You see it's leaving itself kind of open. You will have advantage on your first attack against it next round, Aelion.
Yes.
Starting now, so
Yeah,
your first attack will
just a
have
little
advantage
bit.
Okay, well. Let's.
It's only going to last like
Advantage
5
of that.
days or something.
on it. Yeah,
insane.
22 hits.
Just,
27 also hits.
Ah,
Does
wow.
not. First two attacks hit.
Thought I clicked it. There we go.
All right.
22.
All right. Once again, you're able to hit solid shots into it, but you're more so just denting the armor instead of penetrating in, doing true damage to it. Definitely feeling like it's resisting your weapons, but you're still able to do some damage to it as you see some chinks beginning to appear and cracks going through the armor, but it's definitely still standing. You gonna move or anything, or are you done?
I'm done.
Okay. All right, Kaylin.
Alright, well, seeing that necrotic doesn't try and pound the thing into shambles and do nothing.
Yeah, both attacks fly through the air, almost hitting it, but then you see it whipping itself around as it's hit by the rapier of Aeolion, and you see its shield come up and intersect in between it and the Eldritch Blast, intercepting both of them and not doing any damage to it.
All right.
All right, and the
Moving
coughing
down to the
buddies.
distiller.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, con save, bro. Yeah. Okay. Shit. 1 second.
Uh-oh.
So what's going on here is I have to get this con save because whatever is about to come to Berwyn, I don't want to happen to me.
I did. Oh, great session, guys.
As you're moving closer to this shrine, Kaylin, give me a charisma check.
Boy.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
That's
you're
not a
good at
common
this.
one.
That's like the one thing I'm.
As you move closer to the shrine, you can see and feel just radiating magical energy swirling around this entire shrine. As you move closer to it, you feel it beginning to like try to move you away, resisting your approach to it. However, you're able to fight through it, not even slowing down as you do so. You feel like you can move pretty agilely through the area, but if somebody with less charisma is you able to fight against the influences of it may have a little more trouble than that, but you're able to do so. Berwyn, you're still coughing up a lung, unfortunately. Nothing bad else is happening.
Oh, okay.
Mark and
I'd be scared for a second.
Yeah, sorry. I saw where Kaylin moved. I'm like, wait, something's supposed to happen.
14.
You're able to take a deep breath for just a moment, and then you begin coughing again. Almost overcome it, but just not
15.
enough, unfortunately.
DC 15. Holy crap.
All right, still only having to fight 2 people. This guy is going to continue swinging at Aeolion. 16 and 10.
Neither.
All right, you're able to start agilely dodging around it, kind of getting its fighting style in your hand. Able to dodge around both the attacks. Your turn.
I'm gonna kind of switch styles almost, and I'm gonna use my main attack with Shatter Spike, and my bonus action with the Rapier.
Shatter Spike's able to hit both times. Rapier, not so much. 4 and 4. Ouch. Min damage. Oof. All right. Once again, still able to put a few more dents. You see some more cracks beginning to fill into the armor, but it's definitely still standing and still coming at you. Kaylin.
All right. Seeing that this guy still hasn't gone down yet, I guess I'll try and knock the top of its head off.
All right. Your first attack is able to hit it right in the head region. Second one, unfortunately, misses just wide. 4, 7. All right. So the Eldritch Blast flies through the air, connecting right on the side of its helmet. You see its head kind of whip over to the side as it does so. A somewhat large dent appearing in the helmet, but it is definitely still standing.
Yeah, when it head whips, if it looks like it's looking towards me, I just do a little wave.
It kind of turns this red glare towards you, not seeing a face or anything, just seeing this red light emanating from within inside this armor. But then it turns its ire back towards Aeolion. Here we go again. Berwyn.
Do I have to?
Mm-hmm.
Did I just stay coughing? Oh!
Hey!
Oh!
Finally, you're able to take a deep breath, and as you do so, you feel the effects of this mist finally wearing off, and you're able to clear your eyes and see before you. You'll be able to attack them, or do whatever you want.
I'm a little angry. So
Just a little.
I wanna do. How close? It's that guy. Yeah. Here, hold on to this for me, buddy. Crap. Oh, there it is. Way down there. 26 hit.
26 hits.
4 damage of fire.
The crispy 4 damage.
It is crispy.
Yeah, it burned. You see a black spot has appeared on the side of this armor as you cast
Hey.
Produce Flame. Dealing a little damage to it, however, it still looks raring to fight. Oh, shit. Anything else?
No.
All
Well,
right.
I'd like to take one step this way. That's it.
Okay.
And Kalen yells back, "Nice of you to join us."
Thanks.
All right, Markador. Seeing Berwyn finally able to break free of the hold of this mist, hopefully you feel that you can do the same.
Will his ability to break out inspire me somehow? 15. 15.
And as you once again attempt to draw in a deep breath, you feel your lungs finally filling with air, and you feel the coughing fit stop as you break free of the mist power, and you're able to do stuff now.
Immediately seeing all of this, what do I want to do? And I could do so much. Do I have both action and bonus?
Yeah, that was just a free thing that happened at the beginning of the turn.
Okay.
So.
I'm gonna start with Shield of Faith on Aeolian, and then
Okay.
move forward and grab the Warhammer and try to hit this thing somehow.
Jesus, 29 hits. God.
Yeah, 26. So 10 bludgeoning damage as I hit it, and it is magical.
Alright.
So.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be my turn. Yeah, that'll be my turn.
All right. So as you charge forward, raising both your hands as you do so,
we did it.
to chant and cast this protection ward across Aeolian, giving him some more protection against attacks. You quickly raise your hammer up, bringing it down heavily as you do so. Even though this armor kind of starts to raise its shield, you quickly bat it aside and hit it right across the chest and the
Rock
shoulder,
smash.
leaving a heavy dent into it. However, you still feel that you can't quite get enough damage into it, even with your magical weapon. And it is still standing, though it is starting to look very beat up and dinged, and cracks are all through the armor.
Okay.
It looks rough. This thing, very single-mindedly, is going to continue to try to wail on Aeolian.
Okay. Protection on, I guess, the second one.
Yeah, I mean, none of them hit anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. All right. So, both of you dancing in between its attacks, Markinor kind of jumping forward and throwing his shield in between. It's able to not even get close, bouncing off your armor as well as down into the ground around Aeolian, unable to connect. Aeolian.
Yes.
Okay, well, I will kind of go back to how I was before. Use the rapier as my main attack. Shatter Spike as my secondary.
All right, both rapiers hit.
For
All
21.
right. Yeah, and as you're bringing the rapier around, you're finally able to gain purchase into it. Seeing the cracks kind of start to filter through the armor, you target those points very precisely, and as you do so, you finally get some chunks out with the first attack, and the second one, you target that same hole and drive it straight through, feeling your rapier pierce all the way through the back of this armor. It goes rigid for just a moment, and then you see the armor beginning to fall apart. The red light flickers for a moment and then dissipates completely within the eyes, or within the helm of this animated armor, and it falls to the ground in shambles.
Yes.
Sweet.
All right.
Are we out of combat or still in combat?
You are out of combat, and you feel like you can all be able to take on this mist for quite a while.
We did
now
it.
that you have saved against it.
All right. So down at this pillar, what do I see?
So as you're looking up at this pillar, you see what appears to be a snake man suspended in the air, obviously unconscious, floating at the center of this dais. You recognize this as a Yuan-Ti, a race that you haven't really run into in your travels, but you've heard mentioned before.
And I know there's magic because I've already felt that, but still would cast detect magic to see if I can figure out what's going on. I also would warn them to be careful approaching the pillar.
Yeah, and as Markinor, as you move up closer to it as well, you see and feel this swirling energy all around this shrine, seeming to channel from within it and then moving outward somewhere. You definitely can tell that something is going on. If the floating Yuan-Ti in front of you was not a hint of it from before, as you get closer, you definitely can tell now. As you detect magic, you see magic radiating all around you, everywhere. Give me a wisdom check with advantage. Okay. As you're looking over the shrine, you're seeing the magic. You see what appears to be necromantic energy suffusing and leaving from this Yuan-Ti's body, rising up at the top of this swirl of magic all around you that you're seeing, and you see it begin to lead off, and you see it moving back towards the black gate that you just came from. And it seems to be entering into the black gate's kind of ever-present black, mist-like swirl, and then vanishing. As you do so, you see that you're able to see how the arcane glyphs or the weave rather, has been woven to cause this, and you see a few places where it seems like you'd be able to disable it if you so choose to do so. You do know that it will take a little bit of effort, some different options that you have presented before you. You know that the glyphs are inlaid into these pillars that are surrounding this figure raised up in the air. You feel like if those pillars were destroyed, you would be able to end the arcane effects. You feel like someone that was dexterous enough may be able to go through and remove the arcane sigils that are causing this magic to happen, or someone that knows the weave fairly well, knows Arcana very well, will be able to go through and disable the weave that way as well.
So just so I understand, this being is floating? Is that...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's basically the air, the magic around it is what's causing it to float? Is that correct?
Yeah, you see this being like all around this shrine. It's just this golden light of swirling energy all around it, reaching up to the ceiling. Kaylin was able to see that this at the apex, at the very top of this swirling, kind of like an inverted tornado, I guess. You see it trailing off deck towards the black gate that you all entered through.
Yeah, I think my best bet would be, I'll relay what I found, but I'm thinking we either have to destroy the pillar, or try and remove these sigils. I'm thinking removing the sigils might be the best option. But either way, I don't think leaving it intact would be good in any way.
And it's all around the outside edge, right? That's where all the runes are.
Yeah, basically on the topmost level of it, or pretty much on the
that
second
part there.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That wasn't right. No, stop it. Ah! I remember how to do this. Was it control? No. Is it shift? No. Hold alt, damn it. The one key I didn't use. This again. Bloop. There we go.
Okay.
So that whole area right there is just swirling golden light that you can see the Yuan-Ti through.
As we're looking at this, I think for a second and I say, I think I have an idea. Something that might be able to protect us a little bit while we do this. And I motion for Aelion and Berwyn to come up. And I kind of look over in Kaylin's direction and I say, you said you wanted to try to remove these runes, correct?
Yeah, I think for me that's the easiest way.
What would you say if I prevented this beast from bothering us in case we start to remove the runes and it gets the idea that it should stop us?
I don't think the beast is the issue. I don't think the Yuntai is what's going to be a problem. I think it's being drained of its power to build these phylacteries for the liches. Doesn't seem to even be conscious right now.
Yes, but we're talking of disturbing this area here. Who knows what might occur if we allow this to continue and possibly turn on us.
What you feel is best. I just want to work on this process of getting this stupid pillar stopped.
Havoc, if we're going to try to pry out the runes and get it to stop, how long would that take?
It depends. It's your ability to do so. You know that it wouldn't take super long to do so.
Mhm.
Especially with Kaylin's kind of pointing out the ones that need to be taken out with her understanding of it, based on her wisdom's check a minute ago.
Okay.
However, you do know that it's going to be a somewhat delicate process. It's going to require some skill.
Okay. What I would like to do is cast a reversed magic circle. So everything, that purple circle that you put down there, everything within that cannot attack anything outside. So it's basically containing that entire area as high as necessary. And it will last for an hour and will give us a chance to pull these runes and try to do so in a very kind of slow and methodical method. I mean, we got an hour to do so, so I imagine with Kaylin's guidance of which ones to remove, the four of us working together could kind of take care of this in a halfway expedient fashion.
Okay. What kind of creature types are you selecting?
I am selecting, 1 second. Creature chosen type. I'm gonna select Fiend. Yeah, we're gonna do Fiend here.
Okay. All right. So as Markinor begins to chant, moving his arms around, he kind of makes a circle motion with his two fingers outraised, and as he does so, the runes on the pillars kind of glow in opposition of it, but the arcane sigil begins to etch itself into the ground from this magic circle spell, and it etches itself in. You see a somewhat translucent white light rise to the ceiling from this magic circle spell that's able to be completed, trapping any fiends that may occupy that space from exiting out of it.
And then that gives us time, kind of motion over to Berwyn and Aelion, tell him to get over here and help us. And with Kaylin's guidance, I'll start pulling the runes that I need to on my side.
All right,
While
so
that was happening, can I loot the body of the caster?
you can. On his body. You don't find a whole lot. You find a few lesser components for spells and such, not too much of anything of use, but you do find another glyph key on his body. And as you kind of pick it up, you feel it's attuned to the same area as the one that you had before.
Move another.
Doesn't matter. One less they have.
And those components.
Going with that.
Okay.
And then I will make my way over.
All right. So, what are y'all trying to do?
So I'm assuming this being something that's going to be delicate is going to be, almost like a thieves' tool thing, trying to remove these rune or sigils.
Yeah, you feel like you're going to have to be somewhat dexterous to do so, so you'll have to give me a dex check to do so.
Knowing that dexterity isn't my my best thing, I'm going to actually make myself useful in other ways and walk over to Kaylin and place my hand on her back and cast guidance.
Okay.
So I'll move to that pillar, and we're trying to pull out the sigil. Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
I can do that. I'm pretty good at it.
And I'm gonna basically my plan is to kind of move around the room, and as everybody is preparing to start removing theirs, I'm gonna do the same thing. Walk up and place my hand on their back, try to give them a little bit of benefit and help to make sure that they can complete the task.
Okay.
trying-
As
Sorry.
you both move up onto the shrine to get ready to do this, I need charisma checks from Kaylin and Aelion. As the magic begins that's swirling around this golden light buffers into you. See if you resist against it or not.
What?
Wait, I gotta make another one.
Yeah.
Lucky 13.
I haven't moved.
Yeah, but you're stepping up closer now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you're both able to move up, and both of you feel that it's pushing a little bit harder at you, and you feel like this is now difficult terrain, so it takes you an extra 5 feet to move up closer, but not really a big deal. But you're both able to stay standing up against it as it buffers against you.
All right,
They'll
yeah,
both
so
have guidance, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
As I cast it on the one person that
Okay, yeah, two different markers.
Markinor
Yep.
did.
All right.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll try and take out the first sigil with these tools.
All right. Give me a dex check.
Do you want to check, or can I use my tool check?
Yeah, go ahead and use your tool check.
Okay.
Yeah, the first, you see at least 3 of
Mhm.
these need to be disabled for you able to stop the magic the way it's flowing. You're able to knock off the first room very deftly and quickly.
Alright,
Same for Aelion,
mine.
able to go up and
Oh, didn't even
say-
use the D4.
using a knife or something is able to go up and following Kaylin's guidance, moves up to it and scratches it away. You know that 2 out of 3 of them are done now.
Once again, recasting guidance on Kaylin as she prepares for the next one.
So we have to move around. So like here.
Yeah, you would need to move to a
So
different pillar.
Probably another charisma check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily able to move through the magic.
Alright. Yeah, I'm good.
Good, good.
Easy peasy.
Hmm.
Yeah. So as you go up, once again using your thieves' tools to go through and scratch at this rune, as you do so, you see it finally whittling away enough that you see the magic begin to flutter as you do so. And as you finally finish scratching away at this rune on this pillar, you see the magic fluctuating, kind of waving unstably, and then it just dissipates. The swirl of golden light disappearing as it rises to the ceiling and vanishes. As it does so, this Yuan-Ti that was floating in the air begins to slowly fall to the ground, seemingly unconscious. And as it does so, it lands on the ground very softly, laying over on its side before you see it begin to move. And it twitches, and then its head perks up a bit, and you see its eyes kind of lazily looking around, and shakes its head a bit, getting its bearings, and looks at you four all around it, and says, "What is it you are doing?"
Well, freeing you from your prison, supposedly.
As you say that, it looks around at the pillars and looks down and says, "I do not know how I got here. Who are you?"
Someone called us the Fey team, but we're just trying to help. That's all that matters.
Kind of perk up in the back and say, "Oh,
Holy
that
shit.
I did not say that."
Vroom vroom, bitches.
Vroom vroom, bitches. Kind of speak up and say, "We're just adventurers. We stumbled into this vault and are attempting to aid as we are requested, but we saw you sitting here and this magic surrounding you, and it appeared you needed a little assistance."
That you see it looking over at Markinor, and it kind of squints at you. It says, Are you Zahir's faithful, sent to rescue me then?"
Who's faithful? I'm sorry.
Zahir.
I
Never heard of him.
Yeah, I kind of look at him a little bit and say, "Perhaps." And what are we to do with you now that we have rescued you from your prison here?
As he says Zahir, everybody give me religion checks.
Religion.
Let's get the
Okay, I'm real
cleric paladin that has a 0 in religion to do a religion
How
check.
am I the one with the best religion?
So
I grew up in the Underdark religion.
Kaylin and Berwin, as he mentions Zahir, you're all reminded of things that you've heard about and read in books. Speaking of the Yuan-Ti, you're kind of thinking about it, says that, and you realize that Zahir is the serpentine god of poison, darkness, and murder, and is a very evil deity that a lot of Yuan-Ti worship, and that he is basically asking, "Are you evil people sent to release me and save me?"
Nope.
Nope, doesn't sound like us.
Nope.
We may not be good all the time.
Not me, at least.
Not me ever.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So as he asks out loud about that, Kaylin and Berwin both respond, No, we're not with Zahir." He looks around, kind of darting his head and his eyes between you all. He says, "Then you must be vanquished." And he begins to morph his body into a large snake.
You really want to do this?
Moves to attack you. Roll for
Really
initiative.
want to do this, my dude? Come at me.
Why do
We'll
we
go
help
snake
people
on
again?
snake.
I don't know, and I'm beginning to question why we ever help these people.
Figure,
As am
guys.
I. We're too good.
What kind of... So, is he an actual... What
No.
kind of being is he?
He is
He's
a
a
monstrosity. He is not a fiend, unfortunately.
Also, not a human.
It's the thought that counts.
That is a lot to counts. It was a good plan. If a fiend came through there, ooh,
Hmm.
that would have been super unfortunate for him.
Also,
But
I love how this magic circle says choose one or more.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
always
What-
choose all of them.
Yeah.
You can literally choose all of them.
You could.
Unless
Then again,
you
I don't know
want
if
your
you-
elemental friends.
Yeah, elementals are, celestial gods that appear and you trap them inside there. They might be a little upset about it, but hey, you never know. So, this
should
guy
have
morphs
said
into
all.
a giant snake,
That's a
hissing
good
at you
point,
all and
'cause
moving
it's
out
not
to
gonna help
attack.
us.
Kaylin, you're the first to react.
It's the first time I've got to use Magic Circle. I wanted to find a reason to use it. That was perfect reason.
Use the spell stored in my ring of spell story and cast Blight.
Okay.
Hey, that seems familiar.
Blight's rather popular.
Wow.
Mm,
Yep, he failed.
35.
16
failed.
still doesn't save. Yep. Nope, he fails. Necrotic damage. I don't think he has any resistance. Ouch. Okay.
Oh, I need to store
So
a
as
bunch
this
of spells
giant
here.
snake begins to move towards you,
Need to
Kaylin quickly
the
raises
ones
up
that I
this
wanna use.
two-fingered ring that she wears on her hand and motions forward, and the arcane runes around it begin to glow as this necrotic energy zaps out, encompassing the snake. As it does so, you see its skin, or its scales rather, begin to turn black and such as it moves across its body, and it takes a big chunk of necrotic damage. It hisses in pain, kind of recoiling from the attack. However, it is still standing.
Kaylin just says, "That's what we get for trying to help you." Fine. And I'm assuming if I move, would I provoke an attack opportunity if I move, considering it's supposed to be a large creature?
No, it's large, but it's not a large size. It's still a medium-sized creature.
So I can move.
Yes.
Okay, then I want to move behind Markinor.
Okay. Not losing her reasoning, even if she is kind of annoyed, Kaylin moves back away after attacking Aelion.
Well, in that case, can I hit from here?
No, you would have to move up closer.
About
We'll say it's
Here,
standing,
like
just so it has a square. It's standing there.
okay. I'll just kind of step forward a little bit and stab, slice.
All the stabs.
Holding for anything else. Oh, right. Is it? Okay, right. Okay, so stab, slice.
Okay. 3 out of 4 hit. First 3.
First 3. That is 1, 2,
Oh,
3.
I had my mic mute here.
D8. Whatever. Just gonna pull up the dice roller, but
First turns are so scary for Aelion. Holy shit.
yeah. 26. No, 28.
28?
Yeah.
Okay. This creature obviously has no resistance against any of your attacks, and you're able to quickly stab into it with your rapier, and then following up with a heavy blow, trying to hit it with the Shatter Spike. Unfortunately, Shatter Spike goes wide, but you do leave 3 deep punctures with your rapier. It spits up a large gargle of blood as it's hit by these attacks, its mouth kind of frothing, and as it turns its ire towards you, it's still standing, but it looks on death's door.
Okay.
It is going to reach out with its tail and its lower body and attempt to constrict you, Aelion.
I wouldn't suggest that to
It's,
friend.
what's it called? The whatchamacallit?
No, it would have
the-
passed by now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then that hits.
All right, so you are now grappled by it as you take 12 bludgeoning damage, and then it leans its head forward, trying to bite you.
Yeah. Okay. Missed.
It was 16. It will not hit your 19. So as it wraps its body around you, constricting into you, it lunges forward with its head, trying to bite you, still frothing at the mouth, just completely in survival mode, trying to stay alive somehow or take one of y'all with it. But unfortunately, its bite attack is unable to land. Berwin.
Oh, it's still alive?
Barely.
Well then, here, have some fire.
Don't nat one. Oh yeah, you hit it.
9.
All right, so
Come on, crispy snake.
So as this thing is lunging forward towards Aelion, you see Aelion reaching up and kind of backhanding its head away, and as it does so, it turns its head back towards Aelion, lunging in for another attack, and immediately gets hit in the face by this ball of fire that hits it from Berwyn. You see it kind of scream in pain for just an instant, and then it kind of hangs there in the air as the fire dissipates, smoke rolling off its charred skin of its face. You see its body kind of melding back into its humanoid shape. The long tail vanishing away from Aelion as it restricts itself back to its humanoid shape, and then it falls to the ground, unmoving.
What? We did it.
You did it.
We did
Hey,
it.
you were trying to save.
It's fine. I didn't want to do anything anyways.
Cool.
Hey, you're still tired. It's okay.
I'm very tired. Very tired.
This potion of healing, I'm gonna
More long rest.
chug real quick.
All
Oh.
right.
What are you doing there, buddy?
Drinking a little bit of healing.
Oh, hold on.
I mean, on top of whatever you can do, it can't hurt. Just kind of pull it out.
After every bit of combat, I envision in Markinor's head, he's like, "Can we take a long rest here? Just stop. Can we just
I'm
stop
tired.
for a while? I'm
13
tired."
HP heal. There's something there.
Yeah, I'm still gonna down this potion.
Go for
I
it.
still have that potion. Or
It's
that.
44 plus 4.
Hey, Havoc.
Mhm.
The potion I got from Talu Bar.
You would
What
have
was that
identified that. Let me open my notes.
1, 2,
Good
3, 4.
It might be important.
As you look at it, you realize, or as you looked at it back then and identified it, you recognize this as a potion of mind reading. You will be able to cast the Detect Thoughts spell with a DC of 13. This potion's description, it's a dense kind of purple liquid with an ovoid cloud of pink floating within it.
Got it.
And that will now be in your inventory, or your notes, rather. Let's see. So as this is all happening with that, the magic being disabled and this creature obviously being very evil, reached out to attack you after figuring out that you were not sent to save him. It was more of a happen.
Did anyways.
Very evil worshiper of murder, and decided to get back to the holy duty of murdering. Instead, now he died, which is still a way of worshiping his god. You notice the magic still kind of emanates in the room. Anybody that's looking at it, you all can cast spells to a degree. Give me Arcana checks.
Ooh. Not that I'm that good at it. Yep. Very average.
Woo!
I got a -1. That's fine.
Markiner's like, I'm tired.
Negative.
Rest on
I
his
need to
sword, or hammer.
sleep.
Aelion, however, you're able to see that what you did seemed to have had some other effects after disabling these runes and disabling this shrine. As you're looking at it, it seems that this shrine was interacting with that black gate, and it was reinforced by the fact that Kaylin told you that her detect magic saw that stream of power exiting from this creature's body and heading towards the black gate to the north. As you're kind of looking at it and seeing the arcane glyphs and such around, it seems that all of this is kind of interconnected. The gates that you've been through, these shrines, the fact that you know that power is being channeled from the Chosen, who you kind of think that you've found one of them at this point. You're able to decipher that disabling not only these shrines, but also what they're being channeled, the power is going through the black gates. Not necessarily here, because it seems like the black gates here are transporting it to wherever the end goal of, or the end destination of this power which you can only assume would be the phylactery vault, which you so seek. But the black gates obviously have a piece in this puzzle. You understand that if the black gates in this temple of extraction can be overloaded by other black gates being disabled, that you'll be able to possibly go to wherever this energy is being transferred.
So, did we overload this black gate by killing this guy?
You have not, no.
Okay.
You're able to discern. Once again, you're getting all
That's
of this
good.
knowledge by reading through these arcane runes, recognizing one
Right.
here and there, and kind of deciphering the language, almost like it was a set of instructions before you. You're able to see that overloading other black gates, ones in, like the ones that you found in the abyssal prisons, for instance.
Right.
Though it's not something that's really crossed your mind of doing before, since you were using them for teleporting, transporting essentially. You're able to read the instructions that basically doing so will cause the black gates within this sector and the temples of extraction, since they are being directly used to channel this power through them to the vaults, that disabling the other ones will overload those and cause them to open up and show you the way to the vault where the power is being seeped to.
Away. Kind of, sort of, share this discovery. Say maybe the next gate we find, we should try and, I don't even know, throw spells at. Try and give it more energy than it can handle.
Okay.
But that requires moving forward and finding another gate.
Well, looks like we got some doors to check out.
Yeah.
The doors.
Doors.
As you're moving forward to this next set of doors, won't make you do a check or anything. You see that they are untrapped. A set of double doors seems to be well made to the point where they're somewhat airtight. You assume to keep this mist isolated within this room, knowing that you probably should open it and then close it pretty quickly behind you, so that you can try to get out of this nasty mist that's caused you to cough and your eyes to water up and such. But before you go through that door, we're going to take another quick break so I can move laundry over.
Yeah.
Get some water.
It's like a plan.
All right.
So, quick break. real quick.
Chat.
We'll be back
So
within
we're gonna
5
take
minutes,
5-minute
and I'll be right
break.
back.
And then when we come back, we will continue our dive here through the Thay Mount and the Doom Vault and attempt to wrap up as much of this as possible. So we'll be back 5 minutes. Hang tight, don't go anywhere. And as always, thank you for being here. I very much appreciate it, and as do our players and our DM here. So stick around, we'll be right back.
back.
Welcome back.
Alright, about time to get back to it.
I'm back.
By the way, how's everybody doing? Hope you are enjoying this session tonight. As we continue our dive through the Dune Vault. Got a little bit still ahead, so not sure.
That's cold.
Not sure what else to expect to find in here, but from our warning that we were given earlier tonight, Tarovar is the least of our concerns, so it's gonna get a little crazy, I have a feeling. But yeah, we're about ready to jump back into it, so thank you for being here. Very much appreciate it. Who are we missing?
Max. Oh god.
Oh god, what'd you do?
Oh, I dropped my phone on my headset phone. That hurt.
Ow.
Or my headset cord, rather. Oh. She yanked my damn head down to the ground. That's what I get for having a big ass phone.
I have one potion that I'm holding onto very tightly. I want to use so much.
Y'all are out of combat.
Yeah, combat.
Let's see.
Because it would be so much fun to use. I'm telling you. I don't want to talk about it because then Havoc will start planning for it, and I don't want him to plan against that because I'm going to mess things
All right,
up.
dope. So, as you have slayed this creature and gotten a good chunk of insight from these kind of instructions that were on this dais, you find yourself ready to move on from there into the next room. So, without pomp and circumstance, you open the door and see a stairwell before you, leading up to another set of double doors.
Looks oddly familiar. Haven't we seen a few of these so far?
Let's push
Move
our way
in
through
quick.
and close this door real quick.
Um,
Behind Berman.
yeah, close the door behind us.
Okay. You do see the mist kind of lingering in the air. Back behind you doesn't seem to be readily pressing through, so you're able to shut the door in plenty of time to lock it away from you, and you enter into this area with no mist, though it is very dark.
Dark.
Yeah. Except all you fuckers have dark vision.
Dark in finger quotes.
It is dim. All right, another set of double doors. Want to go through? Want to check them? What do you want to do?
Probably should check them.
I'm gonna place
Cool.
my hand on Kaylin's shoulder and cast guidance.
Okay, give me a check. Investigation.
Go ahead and use that 1d4.
Yeah.
Just cause.
15.
Yeah,
All right.
that's better.
So, mhm.
We're gonna die.
Okay. So as you check this door, once again, very large stone doors presented in front of you, made very similar to the ones that you just went through. It seems like they're pretty tight in their construction, not leaving any room for air or anything to escape from them. As you look around for traps and such, you see no tripwires, no mechanisms and such. It seems just be regular doors that are unlocked.
Seems
Do
to
we
be.
hear anything from the other side?
You do not.
Do we want to open them or stealthily open them? Or just hang out here for like 6 years?
We can open them, I think.
Okay. Guess we'll open the doors.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you open these doors,
Yes.
you see into the next chamber. Stripes of red mist appear in the air in this white marble chamber, as if someone is whipping the air and it is bleeding. Before you, you see 4 figures, 2 of which look oddly familiar as these large, kind of bulking, their muscles very disfigured looking, undead creatures. You see 2 other ones, both appearing to be Thayans, standing in the back. As you all open the door and enter the room, they all turn their eyes towards you and begin moving forward. Roll for initiative.
Okay.
More character sheets.
Yay.
Oops.
Ew. The first one was fine, but everyone after has been awful. Par for the course, I suppose.
Wait, Markinor not rolling double-digit initiative? Isn't that like every single game?
Every game.
All right, so this guy is gonna roll, and then this guy. Pretty sure you have whispers. Oh, no,
You can hide names too if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I don't care. Just because you know what it's called doesn't mean nothing.
Don't mean nothing.
Okay. And this guy's probably got whisper stuff turned on. I wish the global one would actually work. That would make my life easier. Initiative. All right. So all 4 of them move forward, continue to attack you for sure. Aelion, you're the first to react.
There's a dude right here, right? Barely see him.
Yeah, it's all these rooms are somewhat obscured. Not enough to really
Yeah.
affect battle, but making it a little difficult
Right.
to see.
Yeah. Alright. I'll my swords away for the moment. And drop some arrows into the closest fool.
All right, do it. All 3 hit.
Ding, 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 ding.
Not a humanoid, so no favorite enemy.
But still plus a d8 because of Gloomstalker.
So 28.
Well,
I want to see if I can do
Yeah.
this.
All
I
right.
hope I can do it. It would be so
on.
cool.
23 plus. Oh yeah, 6 is 29. Yeah, so 1 more point of damage. Okay.
and then I'll just kind of step forward here.
All right. As you
My
move into
sword's
this
back
room, you see this red mist hadn't been around you up until this point since you shot from outside the room. However, you do see this mist is now infusing the air around you. It doesn't seem to burn or cause you to cough or anything, though. Food for thought. All right. Kaylin, you're up next.
Okay. Where'd it go? Boom. Targeted right in the center, about here. Should hit all 4 of them.
Okay.
Deck saves.
I need to move
Big boom of fire.
Big boom.
big bada boom.
Big boom.
Everybody loves Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element, right? Good.
Mm.
All right. So deck saves. 2 for these guys. Fail and fail. 1 for this dude. Also a fail. And this dude. This dude. Also a fail.
38 fire damage.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
Wow.
So this guy is gonna try to save. Damage taken. Jesus. Yeah, he's not hitting that, so he's dead. Not even gonna roll for undead fortitude. 38. This guy is going to try to. Nope, he's also not even gonna try to save because that will be a 40 fucking 3 DC. That's not gonna happen. This guy. Do they have anything that? Man, I missed counterspells so much right now. All right, yeah, they just take the damage. Let's see. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and shit, wrong. Curse y'all for making me do math. Okay, so 38 fire damage. So both those guys drop like a sack of bricks. This guy takes a big hit. This guy takes an even bigger hit. The one in the back seems to be very hurt as he pats out from the fire and everything. His skin kind of scalded on one side of his face. The other guy, though he seemed to be somewhat protected by some arcane runes around him, they both were. The one in the center seems to be much less affected by it, but he still took a massive amount of damage from that. Anything else, Caleb?
Not moving.
All right. This guy's still standing. He is going to. He is going to point his finger much like Kaylin just did, and a streak of fire flies through the air and lands in between, basically between Aelion and Markinor and Kaylin.
Here we go again.
As he casts Fireball. Upcasted.
You son of a bitch.
Counterspell.
Okay. It's a 5th level spell, so I'll need
It's
you
dead.
to roll. You can do 5th
No, I don't need to. Mine,
Oh.
everything I cast 5th level.
Oh, okay, yeah. I forgot you moved up. Or did you move up this
Yeah.
time? Or did you
Yay,
move?
Warlock.
Aha. Warlock does things. All right, so as the streak of fire, you all clearly see it as it gets right next to Aelion. Aelion's eyes kind of widening as he sees it about to land right behind him. It immediately, right before it hits the ground, winks out of existence as Kaylin kind of waves her hand through the air, Jedi mind trick way, and the magic is unraveled before it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might not have hurt me much, but I didn't. I remember what happened the last time.
All right, well, this guy's dead. Berwin. Berwin, you're muted.
Yes.
It's your turn now, if you would like
I'm
to
gonna move
participate.
into the room
Okay.
and pull out my longbow and shoot this dude in the back here.
Which one were you targeting? Sorry, I looked it up.
The one in the back.
Oh, okay. All right.
16 hit.
Low,
16 will hit.
so low on the turn.
Woo, 4 damage.
I need a wisdom saving throw from you, please.
Okay. I'm really good at those.
All right.
Oh,
So
damn, yeah, you are.
as you fire off this arrow, it clearly lands into the chest of this guy. He takes 4 piercing damage, kind of stumbling back from the arrow as it hits him in the upper shoulder. He looks very, very hurt, like he's barely standing, but he is still standing. As you fire up, you see this red mist around you begin to glow in your immediate area, and as you feel it assaulting against your mind, you're able to fight off the influence, and then you feel a calming effect coming over you, almost like some kind of magic is trying to heal you. But since you're already full health, it has no effect.
Oh.
Anything
Okay.
else?
Nope.
All right. This guy, what can he do? He can do things, right?
He can do things.
He is going to look towards Berwin, who just attacked him, and 3 rays of fire are going to fly towards you, Berwin.
Okay.
Do I need to make attacks for each one? On each ray, yep. So first one's a 10,
No.
7,
No.
10.
No.
All right, so it still has. That's a silly thing. All right. Yeah. So as it fires off these 3 rays out towards you, unfortunately for him, you're able to sidestep around them. They all kind of hitting the wall back behind you as you just kind of look and tilt your head, like, "Are you even trying?" He looks
Bruh.
super beat up and just not good. Markinor.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that for this round, I think. I can only see that individual, so... What am I going to do? I'm going to cast... I guess just cast Sacred Flame at it. The one right here.
Okay.
It's not letting me click.
This
one.
You're on
There we go.
There you go. All right. Dex save on him.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a wisdom saving throw as you do so.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay, yeah. So as you're attacking, you see him kind of raising up 2 fingers towards you, and you see him kind of motioning to your side. You feel an influence in your mind commanding you to not attack him, but you're able to fight it off fairly easily, and your attack goes through towards him. He is going to dex save and fail pretty badly. And take 13 points of radiant damage.
So he tried to like Jedi mind trick me to not attack him. Basically, is what's going on. Okay.
Kinda, yeah. Wasn't quite a charm if that's what you're looking for.
No, I was just kind of curious to know what he was trying to do. Like, it wasn't like he was like, you know, laying down arms and saying, "I don't want to fight you." He was just trying to make it so I wouldn't attack him.
Yes, essentially.
Okay.
Give me an insight check as you attack him.
Okay. I can do that too. Kind of.
Okay.
Not so well with -3.
You notice something somewhat odd about this man. You can't quite put your finger on it. It's almost like a lack of something, either aggression or committal or something to this fight. It seems just something is off about him as he's attacking you and going through the motions of this fight.
Like he's really not into it. Like he's just there.
See, yeah, kind of a hesitation a bit
Yeah.
towards him. You can't figure out why though exactly. Anything else? You moving or anything?
I'm not moving in, but I am gonna reach over and place my hand on Kaylin's shoulder and thank her for dispelling that fireball.
Thanks for that. That could have been bad.
Appreciate
it. Aelion.
I'm gonna keep with the longbow in this case. Attack this
Okay.
dude in the back still.
All right.
So that'll be 1 and 2. Or just 1.
And 2. Okay. They both hit.
Sweet.
All right. I need a 2 wisdom saving throws from you, please.
2
Mm.
and 2.
All right. So
14 and 12.
as these 2 attacks, you see the first one's not quite enough to finish him off, so you fire the second one out. As you do so, both of these arrows flying into this individual, you see him gurgling and gasping in pain as he falls to the ground unmoving. However, you see the red mist around you begin to collate and glow, and then you feel the psychic energy pressing itself into your mind, and you're unable to save against it. And you take...
He takes something.
you take 5 points of psychic damage. Or radiant damage, sorry.
Oh.
Ah, that's interesting.
As this mist kind of attacks you for... you feel like committing violence for some reason as you take radiant damage. Okay.
Oh,
Anything else?
I want to try.
Kind of step to the side, but that's it.
All right. Kaylin.
Yeah, I'm just gonna Eldritch Blast like dude's left.
All right. Both those hit.
Mm-hmm.
21.
21. Okay. They both hit. You're not in the room, so yeah, they both hit. He stumbles backwards. You see. Give me an insight check as you attack him. Yeah. So as you see him stumbling backwards, you've seen what your force damage from Eldritch Blast can do to people. It's always devastating, and as it hits this guy, you see him stumbling back, and you hear just heavy thuds of maybe bones breaking and such in his body. However, he shows no emotion, no grimace of pain on his face, and you see within his eyes just a dead look, like something you experience whenever you're under altering effects of the mind, almost as if he's under some sort of mind control.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Anything else?
That's something.
I just kind of relay to the team. This man may not be our enemy by choice, but be wary of him in any stead. I feel like I have been in his situation before.
Yeah, no, 100% looks very familiar to how you've seen people before when they were under the control of mind flayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually know exactly what's going on with him. He is definitely under mind control. I forgot about that. Yeah, you know exactly what's going on with this man. He's super hurt. Looks like he is barely clinging on to life, even though he's not really showing it through his face. Anything else?
That's all I can do.
All right. Well, even with all the damage to his body, he is going to raise his hand in the air and attempt to cast Fireball again in about this early area.
On that one.
No counterspell?
I don't have one.
Okay, alrighty. So this fireball lands in the middle of the area that you are in. All 4 of you need to make dex saves. Markinor will have resistance, I believe. I think that's what you said earlier.
I have.
That was you. That was you. Fiendish resistance. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Berwyn and Markinor unfortunately fail that. So you will take the full 37 points of fire damage. Galen, you saved, and you'll have resistance, so you will take 37 divided by 2, 9 points of damage, and Markinor will take 18. Okay.
Wait,
so
what?
you only- fireball just went off. You're going to take 18 points. of
Alien
damage.
takes 8.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, no, you take the full 37.
Yeah.
Aelion and Kalen save. So Aelion will only take, both of y'all that save will only take 9 points of fire damage.
Well,
The other two will take 37.
well, 18, and then I'll take 9 because of the absorb elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Both of y'all will
resistance.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he has resistance. Y'all
Makes
both have
sense.
a term of
Obviously,
both have
gives me
resistance. Yeah. All right. So Aelion kind of sucks in the fire damage that he takes, and Kaylin just kind of holds her arm out, shielding her eyes, not really even caring about fire impacting into her. And that's his turn. Berwin.
Oh, that's hot.
So even though he just cast a fireball, you were warned that he may be under some kind of mind control influence, if you care. He did just set you on fire, essentially.
Ah. Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna
Mhm.
try this. Gonna cast hold person on him.
Okay.
Okay.
So he needs
So,
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Nat 20.
Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. I don't really do anything else.
All right. So as you attempt to paralyze this opponent, trying to make it where he can't move or act, you feel as your psychic energy begins to intermingle in his mind, you feel resistance, not necessarily from him, but from something that was already existing there, almost like someone else had gotten there first. Though you know nobody in the party's cast anything, and unfortunately your spell fails. This guy's dead. Arcanor.
Okay. So, being set on fire and immediately getting flashbacks of the last bit of battle, I'm going to reach into my pouch. How far would you say I could throw a vial of something?
20, 40. So 20
Okay.
not disadvantage, 40 at disadvantage.
I would like to throw it here. How far would something that's like a poisonous gas spread?
Within a 5-foot square.
Okay, so I'm going to throw it at his feet. And I am throwing the vial of 5,000 year slumber at his feet.
Okay. Give me a moment. I
Because
need to
fuck
go-
this dude.
Run away.
That fireball, or that fireball just like triggered my head in Markinor's head, and he's just like, no, this isn't happening again.
Oh yeah, I have this.
Mm-hmm.
What area was that in? 1 second, I gotta look up a previous module here.
That was in
7. Yeah, it was in Shrine of Tomoa-chan.
Tomoa-chan.
Let's see. Okay.
That's why I was asking on the spread of it, because if necessary, I would throw it behind him to make sure that it's not going to seep close enough to us.
Yeah, you're confident it won't do so. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a dex-based attack roll to throw this thing at disadvantage.
A dex-based attack roll.
Yeah, you're throwing something.
Okay. At
so-
disadvantage?
Yeah, since you're 20
Disadvantage? Man.
2040.
This. Yeah.
20-40, so you're throwing at 30 feet. It's got to be at disadvantage.
Okay.
Oh,
14.
You're trying to hit the floor in front of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's a real low AC, so you're gonna hit the floor in front of him. He is gonna try to save against this poisonous gas.
Is it really poisonous?
Yeah. So as the gas begins to fill his area, you see it, bursting out. This kind of white crystalline gas begins to fill the entire area around him, spreading out further than 10 feet because I didn't know what you were throwing. It only spreads out 10 feet in every direction, so not close enough to y'all. So it's going around in this area. You see him covering his mouth, just instinctively covering his mouth to do so. And you see his body kind of waver ever so slightly, and then he shakes his head and stands upright, obviously saving against this this gas that was released from this. And then it immediately, almost after a few seconds, dissipates into the air, becoming harmless.
Oh, come on.
I'd like to look over to Markinor. Was that what I thought it was?
Mhm.
No.
It
No.
was.
That is super unfortunate that it was so anticlimactic, but it's only a
Oh,
DC
well.
10, so...
If it wasn't a disadvantage, I couldn't move up any further either, could I? I don't think I could have. No, I moved up my max, and yeah,
I mean,
I
he
was
made
throwing
a
it
save
here,
against it.
so... Yeah, but I was throwing at disadvantage because it was more than 20 feet.
I don't think. I mean, you had to make the save on it, so
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
all
you
that
hit
really
it.
mattered.
I mean, you encompassed him with the smoke. It was just that particular gas was not
Pushing
super
in.
potent.
Thank you for
If it took effect, though, it was super potent, but it had to take effect first. and he was able to save it.
5,000 years potent.
So,
All right, anything else?
no, that's, I guess, gonna end my turn.
All right.
All
Sorry, that was so
right.
anticlimactic.
It was.
Sucks.
So,
anticlimactic.
Just
All right.
just to
Aeon.
refresh what just
I
happened.
can move into the space with.
I had a
being
vial
put to
that
sleep
we
for
had.
5,000 years. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, let's say here.
let's
I
see.
can use
Go-
a bonus action to dash there.
Oh, I'm sorry. It did not dissipate.
Okay.
It is lingering very
Okay.
thickly in that area. I'm going to
And-
go ahead and mark
Oh,
And he wouldn't.
That's why I asked, just to make sure.
Yeah. Now, if he stays in that area, does he have to save again?
it. I would say y'all study this a bit and kind of know what it is by now. You know that if you're able to save against it, you're immune to it for an hour.
can we just hold him in there for an hour? Because I want to see somebody go to sleep for 5,000 years.
Yeah, so I threw
Not that I'll be alive then.
potion vial at the feet of this Thayan ahead, attempting to induce what was called a 5,000 year
All right, What do you
slumber.
want to do, Leon?
I'm gonna
It was a
just
vial
move
of
up a little bit. I'm not
just
gonna do what I
this
wanted to do.
whatever, this vial that we had
and
picked
I'm just
up
gonna
whenever
have to
we
shoot
were
it
in
a
the
couple
shrine of
times.
Tomoe-chan, and I've been holding
Okay.
on to it for like 3 or 4 modules now.
27 hits.
Just waiting for the right opportunity to use it, and this felt
Yeah,
like
so
the right
as you
opportunity.
fire off this bow, knowing that he is super weak, and even though he obviously is not in control of his body, you decide to just go ahead and put him out. And as the second arrow, the first one flying just over his shoulder, with the brief amount of hesitation that you had on your first shot, you decide to commit to it with the second one, and it seeps directly into his chest where his heart is. And he crumples to the ground, his eyes still kind of looking dead up into the air, as he falls down to his back, crumpling, very much not moving, and dead.
Well, better dead than being controlled.
I'm going to... Kaylin, how's your health? Good. Oh, why am I even asking? I'm
Why are you
going-
asking?
I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word to give everybody here some HP.
All right.
8,
9,
9,
9.
Math.
Math is hard.
9.
9.
eh, Y'all, you two are still looking pretty rough.
I'm going
Ish,
to
aren't y'all?
also do 10 points of lay on hands to myself here. So not as bad now.
Oh, fine. Do that.
Markinor touches himself.
He
Only for religious needs, okay?
Not sure that's better.
Right.
Hey, Aelion. On a scale of 0 to 80, how are you feeling over there?
Oh, you know, maybe a 50 or so.
What do I see over here?
Much the same as what you saw before in the previous room. Actually, Aelion, give me a wisdom save. I forgot to do that
Ooh.
There you go.
before you heal up. Okay, yeah. You actually heal up for shit. Math is hard. 2 HP, or 3 HP rather, sorry. From the attack that you shot out at the guy ending his life.
So plus 3, plus 4, plus 11, so plus 14 total.
Sure.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah, buddy.
This mist is strange.
Yeah, it tried to do weird things to me also. As I approach, I make a wide circle. I don't want to go to sleep because 5,000 years sleep sounds nice, but 5,000 years without food and whatnot, not so nice.
Yeah, and you all know from your, I imagine, like I said, y'all researched this a bit after exiting from the shrine during some downtime, and you know that this smoke is going to linger for a while, probably upwards of a month, as it fills this
Oh
little
my
bit of
God.
square. And anybody that enters it is going to possibly be subjected to the effects of it.
A month?
The next person we see, we're gonna grab them and throw them into this mist.
Throw it!
Somebody
Quick,
will
person.
sleep. Somebody will sleep in this thing.
We're gonna make this happen.
So, once again, as you're looking up to the edge of this room, you see what appears to be another chosen suspended in the air. You see these 4 arcane sigil covered stone columns, pillars rather, sitting here. Inside of it, you see what appears to be a human suspended in it now, also unconscious as you saw before. Well, what do you want to do?
Aelion, you were saying something about overloading or something.
Gates. We can overload the black gates. Then potentially we can disrupt the power being sent to the phylacteries, I think.
So,
So, the gate
cast
back
detect
then.
magic again. Can I see where this is sending it?
Probably.
Super disappointed that didn't work.
Where is this one sending it to?
I wanted that to work so bad.
You see the magic as you cast detect magic. You see it trailing off as a swirling vortex of golden light. Comes to an apex at the very top of the roof or ceiling, trailing off back behind you. It seems to be going magically through the doors there. Obviously, probably leading off to the same black gate as before.
Oh,
Yeah.
the first one.
So,
As you're looking at it, you actually see another trail leading off from this doorway, intermingling from the one that's coming from this dais and heading off in that same direction towards that doorway.
so it's going through both sets of doors here and here. Come on.
No, just going through this set of door leading out. So it's coming out this door, going this way, and heading out this doorway. This one's going away from the dais, out this doorway.
Okay, so there's okay.
Those two are joining, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense now. So I'll relay that this one that we're at now is going through the doorway, and it looks like there must be another one through these doors.
Exactly how do we overload these?
We don't overload these shrines. We overload the black gate.
Right.
Yeah.
In other places, not here on this level.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, either way, I'm assuming we want to stop these shrines when possible.
Yeah,
Yes.
that can only help, I feel.
Yeah. So,
Shall we try and...
Spartan kick him, you mean?
Yeah.
Let's Spartan
Yes.
kick.
we're
We
gonna,
are the Fey team.
yeah, at least we got an unwilling person to put into the sleep chamber and see what happens.
Yeah.
Ooh. You're
Try
right.
and, what is it, a suplex? Like,
Dude, so I'm gonna look over to Kaylin and say, so how do you suggest we take care of this? Same as the last one?
It seemed to work. Unless you want to just, go full on bang at the pillars. I just don't think trying to unweave the spell is going to work.
I mean, last
I'm
time
not
we did
that good.
work
I'm
pretty
not
well.
that good with the arcane.
You know?
I'm not good at the arcane, period, actually.
I don't think any of us are.
Mhm.
Yeah, you see all the arcane sigils and everything seems to be exactly the same as the one before, so you know that disarming the magic essentially will require the same process or maybe a different approach. You do know that probably destroying these pillars will have the same effect. It
Yeah.
just require a lot of muscle to do so.
Which ones? Because I'm
You can
willing
actually
to
just-
break them.
You can destroy the actual pillars
Okay.
if you'd rather try that way.
Also,
how
a
much?
lot of noise.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, we just
Yes.
kind of carved up the glyph last time, yeah? That seemed
Yeah.
to work.
Kind of popped them out, I think. Yeah.
and to be honest, I would feel a little better if we could try to at least attempt to rescue this individual. We
Yeah.
know what usually happens when we do this, but I wouldn't be myself
depends
if
on
I
the
didn't
individual.
suggest it.
Hey, I mean, we also have this cloud over here that we could just throw him in.
That was my idea. If he decides to attack us, just put him to sleep for a while. A long while.
A long
Very
while.
long while.
Way too long.
Everybody give me perception checks.
Ooh! I'm good at those. Typically. One. Oh. Oh. Did not roll.
10.
1 second. Let me freshen up on my lore.
Man, I'm so disappointed that didn't work.
So as you're looking at this individual, Aelion and Berwyn, you see a very calm look across his face. It's a male human that's floating suspended in the air. As you're looking over his attire, you see several things upon him, some basic weapons and such. What appears to be a wand sitting in a holster at his side, though it looks somewhat impossible to get close enough to take it due to the swirling energy all around him. As you're looking closer, though, on his chest, you see a symbol, and you recognize this symbol. You know it as the symbol of the god Ilmater. I know that this god is one of, also known as the Crying God, and the god of suffering, martyrdom, and perseverance. You know that this god is lawful good, one that's people who are martyrs for their causes, and ones that devote themselves to helping others support and worship.
I don't think he's gonna try and murder us, guys.
Well, not you guys,
Same.
maybe.
At the same time, it's possible he's
Gone crazy?
He's sympathetic to the cause of what's his name?
Zaztan.
Zastan.
And
So
if nothing else, we at least have a backup plan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sleepy.
So
So,
Yeah.
you want to go full on destroy the pillars or just kill the
Pop
sigils?
them out.
No, let's just pop them out. That
Pop
would
'em
be
out.
a little easier
Quieter.
and quieter.
Back to work.
All right. So if one of you two of y'all, as you move up closer to it, to start your work, I will need charisma saves.
And like last time, going to...
Arcanor.
Yep.
You got Kaylin. You got Aelion.
Yep.
I got Kaylin, and I cast Guidance.
Yeah, same.
It's just a check, right?
It's a save, or it's a check. Sorry, not a save.
Just
charisma.
use the- Oh,
You
charisma.
rolled Dex. Yeah, charisma.
Check. And then
Okay.
I'll do that 1d4
Okay.
Roll good.
for 8.
Okay. So, Kaylin, as you approach it, you feel this energy buffering against you once again, and you're able to fairly easily walk through it. It kind of torrenting against you, but you're not really carrying. Unfortunately, Aelion is unable to, and as he moves forward, the energy starts to knock him backwards and then sweeps him out from his feet out from under him, and he falls and takes 2 bludgeoning damage as he falls to the ground.
I'm gonna reach forward and just grab onto him and just kind of yank him back.
Easy over there. Careful.
All right, well, I'm gonna try and take out this first one.
Okay, give me a thief skill check.
Gonna add the 1d4.
Okay.
Going to refresh guidance on Aelion here.
Kaylin, as you're beginning to etch through this, it seems like the stone's just the sigil's just a little bit deeper, and you're unable to fully knock it away. You still see the arcane power radiating from it.
Brindis, were you here for me throwing the
Do
vial
another
at
charisma
the
check to
Thayan's feet?
approach the pillar again.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna try it yet again.
As you fail to do so, Kaylin, you two are forced away from the shrine as this force buffers into you, and you take 4 points of force damage and are knocked away from it. Aelion, as you approach again, you're able to save completely against it this time and move up next to the pillar.
Yes, we are.
I recast Guidance on Kaylin because I'm assuming she got knocked back.
Yeah, she's knocked away.
I
from
can
the
reach
pillar.
her.
Yeah.
Recast Guidance.
Okay.
Good luck this time.
All right, I'm gonna try and get up there again.
Okay, charisma.
Nope.
Unless you want to use your guidance.
You got a
Yeah.
D4.
All right. It's much more difficult this time. You feel the difficult terrain kicking in. It takes you just a little bit longer to move up to it, but you're able to, with the guidance of Berwyn, make it through this torrent of magical energy and move back up to the pillar.
That's just a regular dex check for me. So
Yes.
tools.
Mm-hmm.
Use my dagger to try and carve apart this.
D4.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Give me a crit. Give me a crit. No.
So unfortunately, as Aelion's beginning to dig at this room with the dagger, the force catches him and rolls him backwards for 5 force damage. Kaylin, as you begin to scratch away the symbol, you're able to use the grooves that you already started to dig all the way into it, and you see that the energy dies away as you disable one of the 3 that you need to.
All right.
Kind of reaching back and picking Aelion back up to his feet and pulling him forward. Kind of like placing my hand on his back and moving him forward and casting guidance at the same time.
Okay.
3rd time's a charm.
All right, I'm moving to the other
Charisma.
side.
Okay.
Oh
If you
my
stay within
God.
it, I'll say you don't need to make another charisma one. Kaylin, you can just move
Okay.
up and do your thief stool. Aelion, you gonna use guidance or you just gonna get knocked back?
I mean, I guess I'll try.
Okay.
I don't think it'll help, but. Oh. I keep typing is hard.
So you're knocked back again for another 5 points of force damage. Kaylin,
Goodness.
as you move around, you attempt to start doing what you did before. Unfortunately, as you do so, you are caught once again by this force energy and knocked backwards, taking another 4 points of force damage.
I think I'm gonna try to just smash the one that Alion's been messing with here.
Okay, give me a strength check.
Strength check.
Or, well, actually, as you get closer, as you move up next to it to swing at it, give me a charisma check first.
Okay. Let's see how this goes.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that was a save. I'm sorry. You said check.
Oh, yeah. Check, yes. Check.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able
Minus
to...
3.
Minus 3 is 11.
Yeah.
You're able to get up there. It's difficult. You feel pushed back, but you're able to keep your wits and move up next to the pillar.
Okay. And then, yeah, I'm just gonna strike it with the Warhammer then.
All right, strength check.
Strength check. Okay.
I'm slowly killing y'all with a trap.
12.
So as you bring the hammer down, you catch right into it, feeling a solid blow. However, you know that it is completely resisting against you, and as your hammer hits, you feel it a moment, and you start to see what appears to be a crack, and then you realize that it's actually just your hammer being flung backwards, and you are flung off of the altar,
Cool.
taking 4 force damage.
I walk around and recast guidance on Kaylin.
Okay.
Okay.
Got this.
Coming to my feet, come back and just kind of roll my eyes and place my hand on Alion's back again.
As you all are starting to do this now, go ahead and roll with advantage since y'all have done this for a little while. So go ahead and roll one more time, Kaylin, for a charisma check before doing your guidance.
And Alion.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh!
First one, you using guidance?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Difficult terrain for both of y'all. Hard to get up there, but once you get up there, you're able to do your check again with advantage.
So I can do Thieves' Tools with advantage.
Yes.
Hold on. I still have that guidance.
Yeah,
I didn't use it.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
Kaylin's
God.
able to get the second one. Alion's thrown back to the ground. Another 5 points of force damage. Death
All right.
1,000 cuts.
Yep.
Cross through, so I don't have to leave the damn area again.
Uh-huh.
And I still have advantage on Thieves' Tools.
Mm-hmm.
Go away.
Yeah. So is Alien starting to stand back up again for like the 12th time.
Yeah.
See Kaylin up there just kind of furiously stabbing and moving and scratching at this arcane rune, and as she does so, she's able to disable the third one, and this golden swirl of light begins to dissipate and flicker and then ultimately stop, and you see the energy goes away. Much like before, this human slowly sinks to the ground, kind of laying down softly to his side, and once again, after a few moments, he begins to stir and move, and then he raises his head, and you see him looking very blearily around, looking around at the area, and sees the cloud of smoke to his west, as well as the 4 dead bodies, and then looks around to all of you, and in a somewhat kind of sheepish voice, you hear him question, "Who are you? Where am I?"
In the
I'm
Doom Vault.
gonna look over at Kaylin, like kind of peek back behind the pillar here and say, do we use the same approach that we used last time? I don't think it worked.
What'd you say, Kaylin?
You're in the Doom Vault. You have a clue where that is?
As he looks over, and still very confused and bleary-eyed appearance on him, he looks at it's the Doom Vault. What is that? Who are you?
We are the Fagine. Not that you know who we are. I just gotta throw our name out there.
Yeah. I step around the corner and say, we're just adventurers that were sent here to help those within. Unfortunately, it looks like you have been trapped here, but we don't know for how long.
That you see him kind of holding his hand up to his head and covering his eyes as he thinks for a moment, kind of trying to shake off all this confusion that he has on him. He looks over at Berwin and says, "The Fae team. I've heard of a group." He kind of looks around again, and kind of looks at Kalen. It was told that there was a drow amongst them. I heard of a deed that was done that saved a village from a forest filled of creatures that were attacking them. If you were one and the same, then his eyes kind of grow wide and he looks around again. I must not be in a good place. This Doom Vault, was it?
Yeah. Would you've heard of us? Guys, he's heard of us.
I mean, obviously, the name kind of gives it away that you're not in a good place right now.
With that, he kind of lets out a soft chuckle as he begins to kind of wearily stand up, and he leans his back against the pillar up here, seemingly resting. He looks very fatigued and such. He chuckles a bit. He says, "Yes, I suppose the name would. I'm sorry, my friends. Thank you for." Kind of looks around and sees all the arcane rooms all around him. Says, "Saving me, I assume. I don't remember. I feel like I was struck from behind when I was traveling, and I don't know how I got here. It's very confusing." He kind of raises a hand. He's like, I apologize. I forget myself. My name is Kieran."
Going to.
Nice to meet you, Kieran. Sorry it wasn't under better circumstances.
With that, he looks over at the dead bodies. So do I. It seems like some violence occurred here, and he immediately kind of stands up, and even though he's very shaky, you see him walking over to the bodies, starting with this one up here, and you see him kind of bowing his head against...
Whoa!
As he
Don't
goes
go in the
there,
cloud.
I'm
Don't
gonna-
go in the cloud. Don't go in the cloud.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to him and just watch, and like the moment he tries moving, if he moves any direction towards that cloud, I'm just gonna kind of like grab onto his shirt and just kind of hold him steady and be like, yeah, you don't want to go in there.
As you're walking over to him, you see him completely stop over this fallen Thayan, and he bows his head and kind of holds his hand up, and he begins chanting a prayer for this fallen person, wishing them a better afterlife than what they did on the material plane, saying that he hopes that they are able to get happiness without violence in the next world. He seems completely intent on praying over these individuals, and as you begin to speak to him, warning of this cloud, he kind of shakes his head and looks up at you kind of surprised and says, oh. I kind of looks around the room, kind of seeing this like blood red mist all around him, and seeing the cloud of kind of grayish white smoke for the first time. He says, "Oh, thank you for that. I would have just walked in. What is that?"
It's
How does sleep for 5,000 years sound?
As you say that, he kind of looks back at you, Berwin, with a raised eyebrow, and then looks back at the smoke. You see his face beginning to kind of pale. He says, "That does not sound like something I would like to do. I think I just woke up from a long nap. I don't think I need another one."
Yeah, 5,000 years. Let that sink in. It's a long time.
So yes, I would advise against going anywhere near the cloud if you can avoid it.
With that, he nods. He says, very well. Thank you for the warning." And he turns his attention over to the Thayan that is still presiding at the bottom of the cloud, dead. And he doesn't approach. He just simply begins to chant a prayer once again. He kind of looks over at the undead and kind of mentions that they're beyond saving. And then turns back to you all and says, "Well, thank you for saving me, my friends, but I don't... What is going on here? Why am I here?"
I believe you were chosen to help power a lich's phylactery?
As you say that, his color was just beginning to return to his face. He goes an
Yes!
even wider shade as his face pales again. He's like, "Oh my, that's not good. That would explain why I feel so tired. Thank you." He starts to bow, not on his knees or anything, but bows to all of you in turn 4 times. Thank you so much. A lich, you said. Is it here?
Somewhere.
Oh,
We killed kind of
We temporarily killed one.
one.
what? One? There's more than one.
Yeah, it's possible there's more than one.
As
Yeah.
you say that, you see his shade of white beginning to turn green as he seems to be getting sick. He says, "Oh my." And with that, he closes his eyes and starts taking deep breaths, and you see him kind of praying to his god.
I'm
Very disflustered at this point.
I'm gonna like walk him back to the wall back here and like sit him down and like reach into my pouch and grab like my water skin and just kind of hand it to him and just tell him just to rest for a minute and get his wits about him, and then turn back to the others and be like, just kind of shake my head like, I don't know if we can help here.
As you're doing that, he graciously takes it and bowing his head to you, and you see his hands are shaking a bit as he kind of tries to get the water into his mouth, and it sloshes all over his face, and he kind of just shakes and passes it back up to you, not even looking at you now. He just seems to be very intent on the floor. He's, oh my, a lich. More than one. My friends, I don't mean to be rude, but is there a way to get out of here? Could you take me out of here? I do not. He looks at you. He's like, I am not a fighter, my friends. I do not want to meet a lich. If that could be arranged.
If you don't mind coughing.
Yeah, there is that.
Coughing? What do you mean?
The only way out we have
Perhaps
hallway down another corridor similar to this one that is filled with a gas that can cause problems if you step through it.
It
Oh.
was rather not fun at all.
well, knowing how the Doom Vault has functioned so far, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to assume that there would be another gate somewhere close by.
Yeah, that might be our best bet.
And kind of look back at the individual and was it Kieran?
Kieran, yeah.
That he nods. Yes, that is my name.
Kieran, then perhaps we can convince you to stay close by, allow us to do the heavy lifting and escort you somewhere to safety. It may not be in the next room or two, but anything is better than trying to send you back the way that we just came.
With that, he kind of looks at you, his hand's still kind of shaking, and he nods. Yes, for famed adventurers such as yourselves, I will trust your judgment. That room does not sound enjoyable.
It was not.
Then he kind of looks around again. He says, I have to assure you, though, that I am not a fighter. And as you're looking at this guy, he looks like a commoner for the most part, just a villager that was brought here. Does not look like a guy that could be good for fighting or anything, and seems to be at his wit's end with all this information that you're giving him.
Be about
Kind of look back at
passed
him.
out at the mention of
Yeah.
multiple liches.
Yeah, I kind of look back at
Yeah.
him, and I never once assumed that he was going to be helpful in any way. We just wanted him to stay relatively close by so we can escort him. So,
Yeah, keep your useless ass near us so we can protect you.
Right.
All right, cool.
Just not
Shut up, NPC.
too close in case there's another fireball.
I mean, if there's a fireball, there's nothing that's going to save him at this point.
True.
Fireballs, you say? Oh my. Oh my.
Perhaps-
Starts to shake again.
Okay, buddy.
Perhaps it is not best that you worry yourself with the inconsequentials and look back at Berwin like, no, stop, let's not do this anymore. Let's not.
As you're saying that, he
No.
Kind of
no.
shrug, like, what did I do? I'm so confused.
As you're saying that, you just see him kind of bowing his head once again, just praying, saying, give me the power to persevere through this. Let me survive this, and I will continue my work and everything. I will endure all of this, and just kind of not necessarily ranting, but just saying prayers over and over again to give him strength to survive this. As he finishes, he kind of once again unsteadily stands up on his feet, and he says, "Well, okay. Well, do not let my presence slow you down. I know you must be here for a reason, and I do not want to hinder that. I will follow you, and try not to get in the way. Yes.
I'm gonna look back at Berwin and say, what do you think? Do you think you could drag the dead body of this Thayan out of the cloud so that we can take a closer look? Would the hold person be able to do so?
I can do
No.
it.
No.
No. You could do. Oh, you could levitate. That's right.
Yeah, I can levitate it out.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you also have a pole. You could probably like try and push him out of the cloud.
It's only 10 foot. I couldn't push him out of the cloud.
Yeah, levitate's easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
Levitate push.
Just to make sure we cover all our bases in case he has another key
Yeah.
or something that we're going to need.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was thinking about doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna cast levitate on the dead body here,
Okay.
Mhm.
and then just move it out of the cloud.
I'm gonna worry if you. All right. So as you do so, you see the body of this Thayan slowly rise off of the ground about 5 feet or so, and then as Kaylin starts to motion with her hand, the body floats over, kind of resting next to this dais, the steps there, and then floats back down to the ground, turning itself so that it's completely away from the smoke here.
I'll walk over and
Gas. That's what it is.
check
gas.
it.
As you do so, you don't see much on his person. You do find 2 keys though. As you do so, you find another glyph key. As you pick it up, it's exactly the same as the other 2 that you have in your person, knowing that it's attuned to just this zone. You find another key that looks somewhat different than the ones you've come up to this point. This one has many different facets on it, or I guess ridges on it. You recognize this is a skeleton key, one that goes to multiple locks.
Yeah. Hey, Kaylin.
Yep.
Catch. I toss her the skeleton key.
With that, you have a skeleton key in your possession, as well as another.
So now I have
Glyph key.
3 keys for this area.
Yeah.
Hey, Markinor. Take
Yes.
this one, and Kaylin, here, take it. Kaylin or Aelion, which one you want the 3rd glyph key?
I'll take it.
I tossed it to her.
Master of keys. All right. So as you're all going through this, Kieran turns towards Markinor. He says, "I have one thing on my possession that may be of use to you. It's the only thing I have to protect myself, but honestly, I don't really want to protect myself if I have you here, and I don't want to fight a lich, if that's possible." And with that, he pulls out the wand that you saw before that was in a holster at his side, and he holds it out to you, Markinor.
Okay. I'd look down at him and say, are you quite sure? It may be useful to you in some other fashion.
With that, he shakes his head vigorously. No. This is the least I could do for you rescuing me. And as he hands the wand over and you take it, what looked like a ordinary kind of wooden-looking wand before, just a stick kind of shaped into a point. As you hold on to it and look at it, you see that its form has changed now that you have possession of it. And you see what appears to be a long link of chains that are frozen in place with what appears to be a human head kind of sculpted of stone at the end of it with a bar across its mouth.
Oh.
Ask him what it is.
I'm again gonna look back at him and nod and thank him and say, well, I can assure you we will get you out of here in one piece. Just stay close by, and especially now without a means to protect yourself, you'll need to stick by one of us directly. Kind of motion over to Kaylin and kind of show her the wand, and I look back at Kieran and say, can you tell me exactly what this wand does?
With that, he kind of shakes his head vigorously. He says, of course. It is a wand of binding. It allows the user to be able to hold creatures in place. Albeit to say, unfortunately, I am not fond of killing, so this was created and given to me by my father to allow us to run away from creatures and monsters and people that wanted to do untoward things to us. He kind of explains a little bit further, and he says that, it needs to be attuned by a spellcaster, but once it is attuned, it allows you to cast the spells Hold Monster and Hold Person with a save DC of DC 17. It also allows you to expend a charge within it to have the advantage on a saving throw to avoid being paralyzed or restrained.
Cool.
Gee.
And I will give you that Markinor.
Okay.
There you go. And as you're
That's cool.
looking around the room, given this gift by someone who's the complete opposite end of the spectrum from what you found before, as one of these chosen. One parallel that you do draw is that they seem to be very devout individuals to a deity of some kind. But that's the only thing that really makes sense between it, with the other one being Yanti and this guy being a regular old plain Jane human. But as you look around the room, you see that the magic is dissipated from the dais here, though the magic of that sleeping gas is definitely not dissipated. You see 4 other exits or entrances from this room, leading out to various areas, and know that you've just gotten started on the Temples of Extraction.
Yeah.
That being said, that's where we're going to end the session for the night.
Yay. Cool.
Dude.
I was
Still totally disappointed that potion. I've been holding on to it all this time, and I'm waiting for the right thing to happen.
It's just, you gotta,
Hey,
one thing you'll
Lich.
notice is that stuff that you get at certain levels are generally expected to be used around that level.
Mm-hmm.
So like spell scrolls and items that you
Yeah.
find generally are not going to carry real well or scale real well when
Yeah.
it comes to the end.
You mean like this spell scroll of Scorching Ray I still have?
Mm-hmm. It's a cool spell, but it's like,
That I don't
Oh,
think
dude,
I can
dude.
actually even use?
Yeah.
yeah, if it's not on your spell sheet or your spell list, so nah.
Alright, I'm gonna end stream and I'll be right back. Cool. Alright, so let's do this stream in thing here. Let's do that. Let's see. What do we got? Don't forget Tyranny tomorrow. Giants is back on Wednesday for their 3rd session in a row. Fate's back here on Thursday, and then on Friday is D&D replay. There is no Saturday session this week because I will be in Indianapolis for Gen Con, but we will have Fell Entropy on Sunday, so look forward to that as well. Thank you guys for tuning in for this. I'm going to send you guys over. Let's go raid Welcome Party. Fantastic individuals. If you have not seen any of their programming, you should. Go over, say hi. I'm going to go with you. Hope to see you tomorrow for Tyranny of Dragons. And until then, have a good night, guys.